One night of misunderstanding, 5 gorgeous beauties madly pursue. The sun was high, and a fragrant breeze filled the room. When Ling Feng, exhausted, opened his eyes and saw the scene in front of him, he was completely stunned. What the hell? How did I end up lying here with these 5 stunning beauties? In front of him were 5 young women, each with a body that was beyond perfect. Their slender, snow-white legs were a feast for the eyes, and their grace and ethereal aura were unmatched. But soon, Ling Feng calmed down. Wait a minute. My pants seem untouched, meaning I didn't do anything improper. They must be just walked into the wrong room. Yeah, that must be it. As Ling Feng muttered to himself, the 5 breathtaking beauties woke up from the haze at the same time, immediately letting out blood-curdling screams. Bastard! What did you do to us? Ling Feng's head started buzzing, and he quickly tried to explain, ladies, it's not what you think. I didn't even take off my pants. I swear, I didn't do anything inappropriate. Beast! We'll kill you. But the 5 women, filled with rage, couldn't care less about his explanation. Even if Ling Feng had done anything, they wanted to skin him alive. Looking at the murderous glares from the 5, Ling Feng suddenly felt a chill run down his spine. He instinctively locked the door and dashed out, shouting, "Masters! Help!" Where Ling Feng was none other than the infamous Hidden Dragon Island, a place known across the entire land of Great Xia. It was also home to the 10 most terrifying villains in the world, 100 elite agents, the kings of assassins, and even terrifying mutants. However, they all followed the orders of the 3 female masters of Hidden Dragon Island, Xiao Kaiyao, Chen Jinli, and Yunmengli. And Ling Feng? He was the absolute gem cultivated by these 3 masters over 10 painstaking years. Not only had Ling Feng mastered all their incredible abilities, but now, even when all 3 of them teamed up, they were no match for him. The most crucial part. This little brat had recently taken to discussing the meaning of life with his 3 breathtaking masters every day, and each conversation was long-winded. They had finally had enough. Therefore, the 3 masters, Xiao Kaiyao, Chen Jinli, and Yunmengli, had been trying to figure out how to send this troublesome disciple down the mountain to cause trouble for other women. That way, they could escape the nightmare. Coincidentally, today, 5 young women, whose beauty was on par with their own, had come to Hidden Dragon Island seeking medical help. Thus, the 3 masters set a trap, tricking Ling Feng and the 5 beauties into drinking a specially concocted elixir they had prepared. That's how the scene at the beginning unfolded. While Ling Feng was getting dressed, he shouted, but there was no response outside. Master, not good. Just now, the tiger and the killing god got into a fight. At this moment, a middle-aged man, who appeared very ordinary and even somewhat chubby, rushed over with a panicked look on his face, seeking Ling Feng's help. Despite his unremarkable appearance, this chubby middle-aged man was, in fact, a martial god-level powerhouse. However, Ling Feng, who was in a very bad mood, raised his hand and slapped him away. Get lost. I'm already annoyed. Tell them. Have them stand on their heads for 10 minutes as punishment. If anyone misses even a second, I'll break his dog legs. Boom. With that single slap, the martial god immediately spat out 3 mouthfuls of blood, but he had no complaints. Instead, he was shocked beyond measure. Oh my god. 3 days ago, I could barely handle a slap from the master. Now, a single slap almost shattered my internal organs. I can't imagine what level of strength the master has now. Filled with terror, he hurriedly promised, yes. Master, I'll take care of it immediately. Wait. Ling Feng suddenly stopped him, causing the martial god's scalp to tingle with nervousness. Master, do you have any other instructions? Ling Feng rubbed his forehead and coldly asked, do you know where my 3 masters went? The martial god swallowed nervously and cautiously answered, Master, your masters said they had urgent business to attend last night, so they left in a hurry. I don't know when they'll be back. Damn it. Ling Feng immediately cursed, looking up to the sky and yelling, those 3 bitches didn't get scared and run off early, did they? No way, I've got to run too. Otherwise, when those women catch up to me, they'll probably skin me alive and dismember me. Before running off, Ling Feng gathered everyone and, with his hands behind his back, said with a domineering tone, everyone, listen up. I'm heading down the mountain to experience the world. While I'm gone, you all better behave. Otherwise, just wait until I come back and see how I deal with you. Upon hearing this, the 100-odd terrifying figures immediately teared up and pleaded, "Woo woo woo, master, please don't go. We can't bear to let you leave. Get lost. I have to run now. Otherwise, I'll be forced to give up 5 trees for 1 forest." Ling Feng cursed, then with a flash of his body, disappeared from everyone's sight. As soon as Ling Feng left. Har ha har ha. This little demon finally left. We can finally stop being tortured every day. Hundreds of terrifying figures from Hidden Dragon Island cheered with joy and even started banging drums, as if sending Ling Feng off was the happiest thing that had ever happened to them. He, this little brat finally left the mountain. If we'd known he was this easy to fool, we should beaten him up first. He tortures us so much every day our backs ache, our legs cramp, and our butts hurt. At that moment, the 3 masters, Xiao Kaiyao, Chen Jinli, and Yunmenli, appeared, laughing so hard they nearly fell over. Their joy exceeded that of the 100 people combined. But soon, the second master, Chen Jinli, frowned with concern. "Kaiyao, Mengli, this little brat is going down the mountain alone. Do you think he might get into serious trouble in the city? Give it a rest." Yunmenli rolled her eyes and coldly huffed, "Even the 3 of us combined aren't his match. Who could hurt him in this world? Don't worry, with his abilities, if he doesn't kill someone, it'll be a miracle," Xiao Kaiyao said with a doting smile. "Besides, I secretly put a bank card with enough money to last him 10 lifetimes in his pocket, along with a dragon soul saint token that commands all the heroes of the world." She sighed deeply, her face filled with mixed emotions and fear. This prodigy is entering the world, there will be no more peace on this earth. Several hours later. In the bustling streets of Jiangyang City, the closest major city to Hidden Dragon Island. Ling Feng, with a piece of dog-tail grass in his mouth, his stomach growling, suddenly realized, in this world, if you don't have money, you can't survive. Make money. He had to think of a way to make money, and fast. Suddenly, Ling Feng's eyes lit up. "I've got it. I'm a master of medicine, right? Any difficult condition is a piece of cake for me. As long as I can treat illnesses, I'm sure I'll make money." Immediately, Ling Feng began to search for his first target. Quickly, he spotted a target. A stunningly beautiful woman, dressed in a professional outfit, with a body that was dangerously seductive. Her slender legs, wrapped in delicate black stockings, were a vision of perfection. But Ling Feng immediately noticed something wrong. She was sick, and it looked like she had a tumor in her chest. Ling Feng rushed forward, stopping her in her tracks, and said seriously, "Miss, please stop." The beautiful CEO, Han Yangran, who was in a hurry to handle company business, raised an eyebrow and coldly glanced at him. "What is it?" Ling Feng grinned. "Miss, I'm actually a doctor, and I can tell that recently, you've been feeling short of breath, fatigued, and have trouble sleeping, most likely because there's an issue with your chest." Boom. Han Yangran froze on the spot. Ling Feng had just described her exact symptoms. "How did you know?" Han Yangran couldn't help but look at Ling Feng with new respect. "Simple. I'm unparalleled in medicine. Just a glance, and I can tell if you're sick," Ling Feng said proudly, smiling confidently. Han Yangran, intrigued, stared at him. "Do you have a cure?" "Of course I do. And it's really simple." "Really? How simple?" "You and I go to a private place, you take off your clothes, and let me treat you for a while. I guarantee, you'll be cured in no time." Ling Feng said this with such a serious expression, as if he was discussing something utterly trivial. But the people around him were stunned, their eyes wide with shock. Chapter 2, Lord of the Ancestors, please accept our salutation. "Scoundrel! You shameless bastard! We just met, and you already want to do something more despicable than an animal to me. You're simply a thug." Hearing the gossip and whispers around her, Han Yangran's face turned red to her ears. She raised her hand and was about to slap Ling Feng fiercely. Ling Feng was startled. He quickly grabbed Han Yangran's delicate, snow-white arm and innocently explained, "Beautiful lady, you misunderstood. The insert I mentioned is not the kind you think." "What's the difference?" "It's all inserting, isn't it?" Han Yangran's face was filled with cold fury, her anger at its peak. "There's definitely a difference. What I meant was not the kind of insert you're thinking of," Ling Feng insisted firmly. "Then what kind of insert is it?" Han Yangran's face was so red it looked like it could bleed. She was dying to send Ling Feng straight to the police. Ling Feng cleared his throat and seriously said, what I meant was that I want to use my silver needles to prick a few spots on your chest. In other words, it's purely for medical treatment. Get lost. Isn't he that no different from being a pervert? Han Yangran forcefully tried to shake off Ling Feng's grip, her expression cold as she said, "Don't let me see you again. Otherwise, next time, I'll make sure you feel what it's like to eat big bowls of prison food every day." Ling Feng, who was left utterly speechless, muttered to himself, "Damn. Why are all the women in this city so irritable? I was just trying to help her with a medical treatment. And besides, with my looks, even if I did insert a few times, she wouldn't be at a loss. Forget it, looks like making money with medical skills is not going to work." Wait a minute. Ling Feng suddenly remembered that his 3 stunning masters had arranged a marriage for him in Jiangyang City. What's more, the bride was another top-tier beauty. And the best part? She didn't even want a dowry and was offering him 3 million as a bonus. If he fulfilled this marriage arrangement, would he still need to worry about food and drinks? With that thought, Ling Feng immediately set off. Following the address given by his master, Xiao Kaiyao, he arrived at the gates of his fiancée's house, Su Qingya, with lightning speed. As he approached the villa, his eyes sparkled. "Heh, so my cheap fiancé lives in a place like this." Ling Feng thought to himself. "Looks like I won't have to worry about money anymore." Walking with a proud and confident stride, Ling Feng was about to enter the villa when 2 tall and imposing security guards blocked his way. "Who's the country bumpkin here? Stop right there." Country bumpkin. Ling Feng raised an eyebrow. Damn, he was a peerless genius who had descended from the mountains. He could kill gods and Buddhas at will. How could they call him a country bumpkin? Were they blind? However, Ling Feng didn't bother arguing with these 2 security guards, whose monthly salary was probably less than what he lost in a single hand of cards on Hidden Dragon Island. He said nonchalantly, "Listen up, I'm the future son-in-law with a marriage contract to your young lady, Su Qingya. Let me in now, or I'll have my wife deduct your salaries in minutes." Ling Feng then waited for the 2 security guards to respectfully invite him in. But in the next second, he was dumbfounded. A large group of people suddenly charged toward him, including handsome young men, refined business elites, and even an 80-year-old old man. As soon as they approached, they all shouted in unison, "Let us in. I am the real husband of Su Qingya." "You're talking nonsense." "I am." "How can you prove it?" "I bathed with Su Qingya when we were kids." "Har, you?" "I even slept in the same bed with her when we were children." "You son of a bitch, you're trying to steal my wife, aren't you?" "So what? I'll kill you." Soon, the group of men started fighting each other, punching and kicking. The scene was like a battlefield, with no difference from a hellish slaughterhouse. Damn. Ling Feng stared in shock, exclaiming, "Is the competition for becoming a son-in-law in this city so intense?" The 2 security guards looked at Ling Feng with mockery, saying, "Kid, did you see that? There are so many people trying to be our young mistress's husband, they could line up from one end of the street to the other. And you, a country bumpkin, want to live off of her too? You're just like a frog dreaming of eating swan meat. You're so sure I can't get this soft meal." Ling Feng suddenly smiled confidently, his gaze full of self-assurance. "How about we make a bet? If I show you one thing, or even just say one word, your young lady will treat me like a treasure and take me inside." "Huh." The 2 security guards froze for a moment, then burst into laughter. "Har har har, you're killing us. This guy must have come from a mental hospital. One word or one thing, and you think you can win our young lady's heart? This is definitely the funniest joke we've heard all year." The rest of the group, who had been fighting each other just moments ago, also quieted down and stared at Ling Feng in disbelief. They had been standing there day after day, doing everything they could, and yet couldn't even get close to Su Qingya for a moment. How could this country bumpkin just waltz in? But then, just as Ling Feng finished speaking, You bastard! You pervert!" A sweet yet extremely angry female voice suddenly rang out. Everyone turned around and saw a stunning young woman, her eyes like clear stars, her skin as delicate as a flower petal. She wore black stockings that perfectly wrapped around her long, flawless legs, making her beauty even more breathtaking. She was charging toward the villa's gates like a madwoman, with her target clearly set on Ling Feng. The 2 security guards immediately stood upright and respectfully called, "Miss Su Qingya. It's Su Qingya. She must be coming for me. Bullshit. She's clearly coming for me. The rest of the men, from the perverted ones to the old business elites, were all excited and couldn't contain their joy. Su Qingya? You mean the Su Qingya who's betrothed to me? Ling Feng's eyes widened in shock. Damn it. She's the one I slept with last night. His heart sank. This is bad, I've really stepped into the lioness den. Ling Feng immediately turned to run, but before he could even take a step, Su Qingya, enraged and full of fury, appeared in front of him like a lightning bolt. She grabbed him, glaring at him like she wanted to kill him, and said, Wang Ba Dan. You slept with me and now you want to run away. There's no such thing in this world. Get in there right now. And find a way to get my family's approval. Tomorrow morning, we'll go get our marriage certificate. I'll torment you every day and night to avenge that inexplicable loss of innocence. What? Innocence? Marriage certificate. Boom. Hearing Su Qingya's words, the two security guards were stunned. They fell to their knees in front of Ling Feng with great reverence, exclaiming in awe. Lord Ancestor, please accept our salutation. Chapter 3, The Beautiful Wife Won't Leave Me. Ling Feng looked helpless and forced a smile. Beautiful lady, you're definitely mistaking me for someone else. I'm just a passing, unemployed drifter. You're full of crap. Su Qingya glared at him, her teeth clenched. This damn pervert, I would never forget you even if you turned to ash. Besides, now that you're unlucky enough to cross paths with me, don't think you can just eat and run without any responsibility. Once you've taken my body, you must be responsible for me till the end. Starting today, you must stay by my side at all times. If I tell you to go east, you can't go west. Ling Feng felt a headache coming on. This woman is too domineering. Does she expect me to just go along with her every whim? But Su Qingya has an alluring figure front and back. Maybe I should just put up with it. Occasionally indulging wouldn't be the worst thing, right? Hey, pervert, are you thinking about something lewd? Su Qingya, noticing his slightly awkward expression, coldly scolded. Ling Feng snapped out of his daze, grinning sheepishly. Fine, since you insist on making me your husband, and given that you've got a decent chest and a nice rear, I'll reluctantly accept. From today on, you'll be my wife, and I'll take good care of you. But I do have one condition. Since I'm a man, I have certain needs, so I hope you'll be proactive and let me quan you every night. What? Su Qingya was furious. She had never met such a shameless person. He took advantage of her, and now he made it seem like he was the one who lost out. This was the scum of the scum, the shameless of the shameless. And what does quan mean? Su Qingya, although fiery, was still innocent in that regard. Ling Feng chuckled, you just need to break it down and you'll know. Break it down. Su Qingya quickly understood, and her face turned red with rage. You damn pervert. I'll kill you. Ling Feng hurriedly ran into the villa. Wife, calm down. If you kill me, you'll be a widow for life. Soon, Ling Feng and Su Qingya were inside the villa, one following the other. At that moment, a well-dressed middle-aged couple walked out and saw the scene. Their expressions darkened immediately. Qingya, what's this guy doing here? Su Qingya's father, Su Dongshan, asked coldly. Su Qingya grabbed Ling Feng by the arm and declared boldly, Dad, Mom, this is Ling Feng, my new boyfriend. I've decided that after getting Grandpa's approval, I'll marry him tomorrow. What? Both Zhao Linfei and Su Dongshan were stunned. Su Dongshan gave Ling Feng a disdainful look. This is nonsense. Look at this guy, he probably couldn't scrape together even $100. What qualifies him to be your boyfriend? Zhao Linfei snorted, her nose in the air. Exactly. He looks like a beggar with nothing going for him. How could he be your boyfriend? You need to find a man from a rich family, at least someone with 100 billion in assets. Su Qingya, however, remained determined. I don't care, I've already made up my mind. I'm with him. And just to let you know, I've already slept with him. Who knows, I might even be pregnant with his child. Boom. Zhao Linfei was struck by thunder. You slept with him. And you might be pregnant. When did this happen? Damn it. You actually dared to sleep with my daughter? I'll kill you. Su Dongshan was furious and raised his fist, ready to punch Ling Feng. Ling Feng easily dodged the punch, raising an eyebrow. He said without changing his expression, "Uncle, a gentleman uses his words, not his fists. Besides, if Qingye marries me, I'll make sure she is happy." Happy? Su Dongshan sneered, "You're a country bumpkin. What do you know about giving my daughter happiness?" Ling Feng shrugged nonchalantly, "Although I'm from the countryside, no exaggeration, the wealth of my masters is more than the combined wealth of the entire Su family. The powerful people I've tamed can circle around Jiangyang city 3 times. With a word, I could have the city lord serve tea to Qingye and give her happiness. Isn't tea that simple?" Har ha har ha, Zhao Linfei and Su Dongshan burst into laughter, almost crying from laughter. "You're the best when it comes to bragging. If you're really that impressive, why don't you claim the whole Jiangyang city as yours?" Ling Feng looked serious. "If I wanted to, the whole of Dashir could be mine." "Stop talking." Su Qingye blushed, embarrassed. "Are you going to stop bragging for 1 second? You won't die if you don't lie for a minute, right?" Ling Feng looked innocent. "Wife, I'm telling the truth. If you don't believe me, you can call the city lord over right now and see if what I'm saying is true." "Oops, wait. Something bad is about to happen at your place." Suddenly, Ling Feng's tone changed, making a shocking remark. "Huh?" Su Qingye raised an eyebrow, while Zhao Linfei fumed, "You bastard. Just because you can't have my daughter, you're cursing our family. You have no manners. Get out of here." Su Dongshan was also icy cold. "Kid, if you keep spouting nonsense, believe me, I'll have people break your arms and legs." Su Qingye glared at Ling Feng with dissatisfaction. "What is going on? Why are you cursing our family?" Ling Feng remained calm and said, "Wife, trust me. With my unparalleled medical skills, I can sense that there is an elderly man around 60 in this villa who is in the final stages of illness. If I'm not mistaken, he might be about to spit blood." Su Qingye froze, her expression turning to shock. "An elderly man around 60? Are you talking about my grandfather?" Zhao Linfei and Su Dongshan were furious. "You little bastard. You think you can curse our family like that? Grandpa is in great health, he practices Tai Chi every day. How could he possibly be dying?" But just as they spoke. "Not good. Grandpa is spitting blood." A panicked voice came from upstairs. Zhao Linfei and Su Dongshan's bodies trembled with shock. They exchanged horrified looks. "Damn it. This little bastard was right. He is a harbinger of doom. Grandpa." Su Qingye's body trembled, and she immediately grabbed Ling Feng, rushing toward the 2nd floor. As they arrived at the 2nd floor room, they saw an elderly man, pale, blood trickling from the corners of his mouth, his gaze weak as he lay on the bed. Around him were dozens of servants, housekeepers, and maids, all anxiously watching. Su Qingye immediately asked, "What happened?" A maid cautiously spoke, "Miss, we're not sure. Grandpa just wanted to go downstairs to practice Tai Chi, but when he reached the stairs, he suddenly spat blood and passed out." Zhao Linfei and Su Dongshan were furious, shouting, "What are you standing around for? Go get a famous doctor immediately." Ling Feng, however, stepped forward with a calm expression. "What do we need a famous doctor for? With me, the world's #1 divine doctor, waking him up is a piece of cake. Even if I had to extend his life by another 10 or 20 years, it would be nothing." With that, Ling Feng walked to Su Qingye's grandfather's bedside, pulled out a few silver needles, and began needling his head at specific acupuncture points. This scene shocked Zhao Linfei and Su Dongshan. "Bastard! What are you doing? Are you trying to kill our old man?" Chapter 4 Ling Feng is simply the reincarnation of Huor Tuor. Ling Feng raised his eyebrows and said in a calm tone, "Are your uncle and aunt's eyesight not working well? I am naturally saving people." "You farted. You're not a doctor, how can you save the old man?" Zhao Linfei and Su Dongshan's faces were filled with coldness, and they went up and pushed Ling Feng away fiercely. Su Qingye also said helplessly, "Ling Feng, stop making trouble. This situation is not something you can handle. Don't make things worse." "Making trouble?" Ling Feng snorted and said confidently, "Wife, I'm not bragging. With the few needles I just gave you, your grandfather will definitely wake up in less than 2 minutes. And as long as he takes one more pill of the Qianyang Dingshan pill I made myself, I guarantee that the disease will be cured and his life will be prolonged. It is no exaggeration to say that if I give him some of my dragon blood, even if your grandfather is 5 or 6 years younger, he can kill a cow with one punch without any problem. Dragon blood. Killing a cow with one punch. Hearing Ling Feng's nonsense getting more and more outrageous, not only Su Qingye couldn't stand it anymore, Su Dongshan even wanted to slap Ling Feng to death. Damn it, the old man is almost dead, and this guy is still bragging here. If this guy were really allowed to marry his daughter, wouldn't the Su family be in complete chaos? Su Dongshan shouted angrily, "Someone come here. Break the legs of this bragging bastard and throw him out. Otherwise he will mess around here and delay the best time for the old man's treatment." As soon as these words were spoken, 4 or 5 men with murderous looks and fierce faces came in from a door. Obviously, these were not security guards, but Su family bodyguards. They all looked at Ling Feng coldly and said, "Boy, do you want to get out of here by yourself, or do we do it ourselves?" As they spoke, there was a crackle. 4 or 5 bodyguards clenched their fists, making a crackling sound. It was obvious that these people were professionally trained. Once they struck, the opponent would either die or be crippled. The 4 or 5 bodyguards looked fierce, but Ling Feng couldn't help but curl his lips. "Too rubbish, with this body, I'm afraid he can't even take a finger from me." "You are looking for death." 4 or 5 bodyguards were immediately furious and rushed out, ready to attack Ling Feng. However, Su Qingye stood up at the critical moment, her pretty eyes full of protection. "I'll see who dares to touch him. If you touch even a hair on his head, I will make you wish you were dead." "Wow. Honey, you're so good to me." Ling Feng was so touched when he saw this that he hugged Su Qingye tightly and buried his head in her chest, clinging to her tightly. At the same time, he couldn't help but sighed, "Honey, your body is so soft and fragrant." Su Qingye's eyes suddenly turned red, and she pinched Ling Feng's waist fiercely. "You filthy rascal, be quiet." Su Dongshan saw that Ling Feng was almost touching Su Qingye's back, and he was so angry that he gritted his teeth. "Wang Badan, what's the point of relying on a woman to protect you? Are you still a man?" Ling Feng greedily inhaled Su Qingye's body fragrance, and said with a sly smile, "Father-in-law, this is not my fault, it's mainly because I'm too handsome. Qingye likes this type of me. If you don't agree, you can also ask your mother-in-law to give you something." "I'll kill you, you little bastard." How could Su Dongshan tolerate someone taking advantage of his daughter and provoking him like this? Su Qingye frowned and said firmly, "Dad, if you kill him, I will never marry." Evil daughter, evil daughter. Su Dongshan was so angry that he almost had a heart attack when he heard this. "Dongshan, calm down. The most urgent thing is to think about how to save the old man." Zhao Linfei glared at Ling Feng fiercely and comforted Su Dongshan. "After the old man wakes up and is safe and sound, it won't be too late to deal with this little bastard. Has the famous doctor arrived?" Su Dongshan suppressed his rage and asked in a low voice to the housekeeper not far away. The housekeeper replied cautiously, "I have called the famous doctors, but the famous doctors who previously served the old man are currently attending a meeting in the provincial capital. If they rush back, it will probably take about an hour." "An hour? Shit. When they arrive? Then we can only prepare a coffin for the old man." Su Dongshan was so angry that his face turned blue, but just when he was at his wit's end. "Uncle, don't worry. It just so happens that the King of Medicine's last disciple, Master Tang, is visiting my home today. As soon as I heard that Master Su was ill, I immediately brought him here. Master Tang has inherited the true teachings of the King of Medicine. As long as Master Tang takes action, I guarantee that Mr. Su will be safe and sound." At this time, a very proud and dignified voice sounded. Then, a young man dressed in branded clothes and full of vigor walked in quickly with an old man with his hands behind his back, who looked like a sage and was highly respected. Hearing this, Su Dongshan was overjoyed. "It turns out that Master Wei is here. Come in, please. Since young Master Wei is so confident, my grandfather's life is entirely in the hands of Master Tang. You called over." Young Master Wei said arrogantly, "Uncle Su, you are too polite. With Master Tang's help, there is no disease in Jiangyan City that Master Tang can't cure. Besides, you also know that I fell in love with Qingye at first sight. My love for her is as deep as the sea. The Su family's affairs are naturally my, Wei Suonan's affairs." Wei Suonan? What a weird name. Ling Feng couldn't help laughing when he heard the name and complained in his heart. "Huh." Wei Suonan raised his eyebrows and subconsciously looked in the direction of his sight, but when he saw the scene in front of him, his mentality exploded. Depend on this kid. He actually put his head in the arms of his favorite goddess, Su Qingye? Moreover, it was so close to Su Qingya's chest. You know, he has been pursuing Su Qingya for 3 years, but he hasn't even touched her. The most important thing is, this guy looks like a country bumpkin just by looking at his clothes. This is simply a damnable crime. Suddenly, Wei Suonan was filled with hatred, wishing he could eat Ling Feng alive. You bastard. Right now. Immediately, take your head away from Qingya's arms. If you dare to push your luck again, I will make sure you can't take care of yourself. Ling Feng raised his eyebrows and sneered, you asked me to move away, so I moved away. Do you think you are that important? You made me unable to take care of myself, and I was already asking for more. Now let me see how you made me unable to take care of myself. As he said this, Ling Feng provocatively grabbed a certain spot on Su Qingya's back and squeezed it hard. What are you doing? Su Qingya felt the force that was like an electric shock, her body trembled and her face flushed. You bastard! How dare you pinch my fiancé's butt? I will make sure you die without a burial place. Wei Suonan's eyes were red with anger, and he rushed over fiercely, punching Ling Feng hard. Everything happened so fast that Su Qingya was shocked and shouted, you bastard, be careful. With just this little strength, you think you can hurt me? I'm gonna hit you in the face. Ling Feng was not panicked at all. When Wei Suonan was about to punch him in the nose, he suddenly raised his legs and rushed out like a truck. With a bang, Wei Suonan's nose was bleeding and hit the wall on the spot, and he screamed like a pig being slaughtered. What? Su Qingya was stunned, because although the outside world rumored that Wei Suonan was a playboy, he was also the taekwondo champion once every 3 years. He couldn't even take Ling Feng's kick. Could it be that this bastard's fighting power was several times more powerful than Wei Suonan's? Master Wei! Zhao Linfei and Su Dongshan were horrified when they saw this. They hurried forward and helped Wei Suonan up. They shouted at Ling Feng angrily, little bastard, do you know who Wei Xiao is? Do you know how suicidal your behavior is? Ling Feng clapped his hands and said nonchalantly, humph. I don't care who he is. My master told me that no matter who comes down the mountain and wants me to bleed, I will make him bleed heavily. If anyone wants me to die, I will twist his head off. I didn't kick him to death because of my wife's face. Crazy and lawless. Zhao Linfei and Su Dongshan couldn't imagine what kind of vicious and ferocious lunatic the master teacher he mentioned could be, who could teach a country bumpkin like Ling Feng who was fearless and fearless. Okay. Boy, you have guts. Wei Suonan wiped the blood from his nose and asked Zhao Linfei and Su Dongshan with a gloomy face, uncle and aunt, you all saw it. It was this boy who sought his own death. If I turned around and had him beaten to death, you wouldn't blame me, right? Zhao Linfei snorted coldly and said, Master Wei, this guy has no relationship with us. Even if you cut him into pieces, we won't even frown. I feel relieved with what my uncle and aunt said. Wei Suonan stared at Ling Feng and said with gritted teeth, boy, just wait for Master Tang to wake up old Master Su. That's when you die. Ling Feng glanced at the seemingly righteous Master Tang and said with disdain, with such half-baked medical skills, you can save Grandpa Qingya. I'm afraid you are not even worthy of carrying my shoes. Boy, I think you are really too arrogant. Master Tang was furious and said arrogantly, I have been learning medicine from the king of medicine since I was a child. Over the years, I have saved at least 800 people if not 1,000. And I have won the top 3 in the Jiangyang City Medical Association competition for 5 consecutive years. How can a young boy like you insult me? Ling Feng sneered and said, I'm afraid your so-called top 3 were bought. How dare you? Master Tang was completely furious. He waved his hand and said with medical aura, arrogant country bumpkin, look at me carefully. How I can bring you back to health with my miraculous hands. As he spoke, Master Tang came to Mr. Su who was lying on the bed, but frowned, who gave this injection. Ling Feng took a step forward and said in a neither humble nor arrogant manner, it was me who stabbed you, why? Humph. It's simply taking human life lightly. What a mess. Master Tang said indignantly, how can you just stick a silver needle into a person's brain acupoint? Don't you know that this is equivalent to hastening the patient's death? As he spoke, Master Tang pulled out all the silver needles, then took out a blue syringe and injected it into Grandpa Su's body. Seeing this scene, Ling Feng laughed and said bluntly, silly arm. I think you are the one who is messing around. Mr. Su has evil spirits in his body and needs to be expelled, but you injected Western medicine to stimulate him again. If I were not here, Mr. Su would really be played to death by you. You're talking nonsense. Master Tang's face flushed red, and he said angrily, "What do you know, you little brat? The needle in my needle contains a tranquilizer developed by the Jiangyang Medical Association and me. Any patient with wind, heart disease, or high blood pressure will wake up immediately after taking this injection." As soon as Master Tang finished speaking. Ahem. Sure enough, a weak cough was heard, and then Mr. Su on the bed slowly opened his eyes. Grandfather. Old man. This scene immediately made everyone in the audience surprised and happy. Master Tang, you are indeed a miracle doctor. Zhao Linfei and Su Dongshan were even more in awe of Master Tang. Then, he looked at Ling Feng with a ridiculous look and said, "Little bastard, what else do you have to say now?" Wei Suonan sneered, "You are such a disgrace, you country bumpkin. You dare to act like a fool in front of a real master. I really doubt how you can survive until now." But everyone's happiness didn't last for 30 seconds. Unexpected. Extremely abrupt. Puff. Mr. Su on the hospital bed suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood, and then his whole body convulsed violently, and he screamed in extreme pain. What? Grandfather. Old man. Master Tang, what's going on? No. Impossible. Master Tang's head was buzzing, and he was dumbfounded. Based on the strength of this injection, the old man must have been cured. What on earth, what went wrong? He's been so fierce, but now his record is just a fool. Ling Feng pouted and pushed Master Tang away. Quack, stand aside. I'll show you what real medical skills are. As he spoke, Ling Feng took a step forward, his expression serious, and took out 9 golden needles from his arms as if they were treasures. Then, like a fairy scattering flowers, he shot them out horizontally, and each one made a dragon roar in the air. It was as if the world was created and the divine needles came down to earth. Is this the ghost doctor's 9 needles? Master Tang was struck by lightning, his pupils suddenly dilated, and he was shocked as if he had seen a ghost. In his heart, it was like a violent storm. Others didn't know, but Master Tang knew very well what kind of existence Ghost Doctor 9 Needles was. That is the peerless acupuncture method that has been lost for thousands of years and comes from the imperial medical classics. Ling Feng, on the other hand, was like a king, his eyes were as sharp as a sword, and he suddenly shouted, "Ghost Needle appears, Yarma retreats, wake up." The next second, an extremely shocking scene appeared. Mr. Su stopped struggling completely, and his face quickly turned red. He sat up suddenly like a carp, as if he had come back to life. What? Instantly, there was a dead silence in the room, everyone was shocked and horrified. Su Qingya was also crying with joy. She subconsciously grabbed Grandpa Su's hand and asked with great concern, "Grandpa, how do you feel?" Mr. Su's face was flushed, as if he was reborn. He laughed and said, "Har har har. Absolutely amazing. I feel like I'm full of strength now. Even if you ask me to have sex 7 times a night, it won't be a problem." What? As soon as these words came out, everyone in the audience was so shocked that their eyes almost popped out of their heads. It was not difficult for Old Man Su to hear that Ling Feng's medical skills were at least 1 level higher than the so-called Master Tang. Ling Feng was not a country bumpkin at all, he was clearly the reincarnation of Huertuor. Young Medical God. Chapter 5, Storm. Su Qingya was even more excited. She couldn't help but hug Ling Feng and kiss him hard. "Ling Feng, you are so great. Thank you for saving my grandfather." Damn it. Such a scene immediately made Wei Suonan jealous. He could never have imagined that Ling Feng, a country bumpkin, could have such amazing medical skills. He pursued Su Qingya for 3 years, and tried his best to please her. He even broke the hands and legs of a rich second-generation man for Su Qingya, but he still failed to win Su Qingya's favor. And now, Ling Feng just saved Su Qingya's grandfather and got a kiss from Su Qingya. At this moment, he hated Ling Feng to the core. Ling Feng raised the corner of his mouth slightly, and just by showing off his medical skills a little, he won Su Qingya's first kiss and fell into her arms. I can only use 2 words to describe this trip down the mountain, that is, it smells really good. At this time, the energetic Mr. Su hurriedly asked, "Quick, tell me who saved me, I must thank him greatly." Su Qingya immediately pointed at Ling Feng and said, "Grandpa, it's him." Then, her pretty face blushed again, and she stammered, "Also, Grandpa, I had a one-night stand with him, and there's a very good chance that I'm pregnant with his child." What? As soon as these words came out, Wei Suonan felt as if he had been hit by a stick on the head. He was so angry that his back teeth almost broke. What the hell? The goddess that Wei Suonan had been dreaming of. She was actually slept with by this country bumpkin? Is it possible to be pregnant? He really wanted to cut Ling Feng into pieces. But soon, his eyes became sinister again. Because everyone knows that what Grandpa Su values most is the family reputation. Especially getting pregnant before marriage, that is definitely the bottom line that Mr. Su cannot touch. If things go wrong, Ling Feng will be beaten to death and Su Qingya will be expelled from the Su family. But who could have imagined that Mr. Su's next move would send him straight to hell? After hearing what Su Qingya said, Mr. Su was shocked at first, and then he was ecstatic. Ling Feng? You are the disciple of that goddess. You also slept with my granddaughter? Great. Great. It's a match made in heaven. I have been looking forward to you marrying into my Su family. I never expected that my dream would come true. If you don't mind, go get the marriage certificate with my granddaughter tomorrow. From today on, you are a member of my Su family. What? After hearing this, Zhao Linfei was stunned, Su Dongshan was stunned, and Wei Suonan was stunned. Even Su Qingya was in disbelief. When did her grandfather become so open-minded? Didn't even ask about Ling Feng's family background. Su Dongshan was also speechless, gritting his teeth and said, "Dad, are you getting old and confused? This kid only knows a little bit of medical skills, and nothing else. How can he be worthy of Qingya?" "Shut up." Old Master Su was determined and said in an unquestionable tone, "I have my own opinion on this matter. You think Ling Feng is a bumpkin, but I think this child has a promising future. I believe that with Ling Feng marrying into our Su family will surely soar to the sky." But Su Dongshan wanted to say something, but old Master Su's expression darkened. "Who has the final say in this family, me or you?" "Of course it's you, Dad." Su Dongshan lowered his head, and old Master Su said with a domineering look, "That's it. From now on, Ling Feng is a member of our Su family. From now on, if anyone bullies Ling Feng for no reason, it means they are not giving face to this old man." Seeing that Mr. Su had made the final decision, Wei Suonan, whose face looked uglier than if he had eaten shit, knew that he was powerless to save the situation. He looked at Ling Feng with hatred, then took out his cell phone and quietly sent a text message, "Call a group of people over to me immediately, remember to bring the most capable fighters. I want to kill a stinky cockroach that came down from the mountain." Su Dongshan said to Ling Feng with a warning on his face, "Boy, listen to me clearly. Even if the old man agrees to this marriage, you are still not worthy of my Su Dongshan's eyes. Before I, Su Dongshan, approve of you, be honest. If you dare to do anything unclear to my daughter behind my back, you will bear the consequences yourself." Ling Feng disagreed and pouted, "Father-in-law, I, Ling Feng, am not afraid of being scared. You can use whatever means you have. However, if my wife has any improper thoughts about me, I will definitely cooperate." "You?" Su Dongshan was so angry that he gritted his teeth, but he did not dare to lose his temper because of old Master Su. "Ling Feng, come with me." Su Qingya walked over quickly and pulled Ling Feng away. Soon, Ling Feng and Su Qingya came to a very cozy and fragrant bedroom. Ling Feng couldn't help but feel refreshed and smiled. "Wife, is this your boudoir? It's so cutely decorated. Should I sleep here from now on?" Su Qingya rolled her eyes at Ling Feng and said, "Since you are going to get the marriage certificate with me tomorrow, you will sleep in the same room with me from now on. However, you cannot touch me without my permission." Ling Feng nodded, and said with a grin, "Okay, I'll try my best to talk to you." Su Qingya. "You rascal, don't think that I will be completely in love with you just because you saved my grandfather. I'm telling you, I will avenge what happened that night sooner or later." Ling Feng smiled and said, "And how do you plan to report? Lie down below or sit on top of me?" "Huh?" Su Qingya was stunned, and then, with a face full of shame and anger, "You stinking hooligan, you're asking for a fight." As she said that, she rushed towards Ling Feng and pressed him on the bed. But after a fight, Su Qingya found that she was no match for Ling Feng at all. In the end, she was pinned down by Ling Feng and severely spanked. Feeling the burning sensation, Su Qingya gnashed with hatred, "You filthy rascal, sooner or later I will make you pay back with interest." At this moment, her stomach growled. Su Qingya said to Ling Feng, "You bastard, come on, go out to eat with me. I'll buy you some clothes while I'm at it." Ling Feng curled his lips and said, "Why buy clothes? I look good in this one. Come on. You're like a bumpkin, change into something new. After all, you're my boyfriend now, you have to pay attention to your image, or you'll embarrass me when you go out." Su Qingye snorted, and then said with a look of disgust, "Also, you stink, go take a shower." As soon as he finished speaking, he pushed Ling Feng into the bathroom without further ado. At the same time, in the capital, in a top-level combat unit, a heroic, cold-blooded woman was giving cold orders to dozens of her lieutenants, "Go check. No matter what the cost, I will find that bastard. Yes. Jiang Shuai. Dacia, a certain lady from a super consortium, rogue. Just wait for me. When I find you, I will definitely skin you alive. The only saint girl in the Miezhang Holy Land, since you slept with me, you must be my Mia male master." Tired of the family struggle, the stunning twin sisters fled the family. "Asshole, you must be responsible for me to the end. Sister, no matter who it is, if he sleeps with you, he must marry me too. After all, we made a vow when we were young that if we were to marry, we would marry the same person." On the other side, in Jiangyang City, Chen Jingqian, the helmsman of a top-notch real estate family, summoned all the top members of the family and spoke solemnly to his most promising future successor, Chen Beixian, word by word. "Beixian, the disciple of that peerless master, has already gone down the mountain. This is news that I got at a great cost. You, prepare a generous gift, and make sure that Avildor will do you the honor of coming to my Chen family for a gathering." Chen Beixian frowned and said, "Dad, is it necessary to take him so seriously?" "Shut up." Chen Jingqian shouted angrily, his face full of fear. "Do you know his true identity? He is the beloved disciple of the three masters of Hidden Dragon Island. It is no exaggeration to say that with just one word, that master can destroy any top family in Jiangyang City at any time." "What?" As soon as these words came out, everyone's body trembled violently. Chen Beixian also completely realized that he had said the wrong thing. With a plop, he knelt on one knee and said, "Father, I will do my best to bring that Avildor back to the Chen family." Chapter 6 Chen Beixian appears. At the same moment, in the bathroom, Ling Feng, who had just finished taking a shower, found that there was no towel in the bathroom at all. He couldn't help but shout to the outside, "Wife, come in." Su Qingye thought Ling Feng had already taken a shower and put on his clothes, so she walked in subconsciously. But as soon as she arrived, she screamed, "Oh! Why are you not wearing any clothes?" Su Qingye was completely stunned. She could never have imagined that Ling Feng was actually naked. Especially, a certain part of Ling Feng was extremely eye-catching. It's even bigger than the Apple 15MX she uses. Su Qingye was very suspicious. Did this guy practice some magical skills since he was a child? Ahem. Ling Feng coughed awkwardly and said calmly, "Wife, we're going to get the marriage certificate tomorrow anyway, so it won't hurt to let you take a look. Get lost. Do you think I'm a shameless jerk like you?" Su Qingye quickly fetched a towel from the living room, threw it to Ling Feng, and said with disgust, "Remember this, next time don't walk around outside without clothes. Otherwise, I will break your third leg." Ling Feng said helplessly, "Not my wife. If you break my third leg, what can I do to make you happy for the rest of your life? You still said." Su Qingye's face flushed red. If it wasn't for the fact that Ling Feng was still handsome after taking a shower, she would have wanted to rush over and give that damned guy a hard kick. Not long after, Ling Feng dried his body, and Su Qingye's emotions finally calmed down. Then she took Ling Feng and walked out of the villa. Then, he said to Ling Feng, "Wait for me here for a while, I'll go to the garage to drive." "Good wife." Ling Feng nodded, but stared at Su Qingye's curvy, sexy back, and couldn't help but sigh, "My wife is such a stunning beauty. It seems that I will be blessed every day in the future." While Ling Feng was muttering to himself, not far away, Wei Suonan, who was hiding in a corner with a sinister look on his face, saw everything and looked at him with hatred. "Fuck. This country bumpkin. He actually planned to go shopping with my goddess. Damn it. Are you all ready? Today, I must teach this kid what it means to be as red as a flower." A group of ferocious figures holding sticks said in unison, "Don't worry, young Master Wei, we are ready. We guarantee that the boy will be beaten to a pulp later. Walk." Soon, Wei Suonan appeared in front of Ling Feng with dozens of murderous thugs. Ling Feng couldn't help but raise his eyebrows. "What do you want to talk to me about? Pack. Keep pretending." Wei Suonan pushed the crowd aside, stared at Ling Feng, and said with gritted teeth, "You bastard with the surname Ling, you are so bold. You dare to snatch a woman from me, Wei Suonan. You are the first one in Jiangyan City. Do you know how ugly your death will be next? However, considering that Xingyar will be out soon, I will leave you a way out for the time being. Kneel down, cut off your hands and feet, and then let me." But before Wei Suonan could finish his words, Ling Feng stared at him and said dangerously, "I'll give you a choice. Kneel down and bark like a dog, then take out a few 100,000 to make me happy. Then I'll let you go. Otherwise, you'll end up in a miserable state." As soon as these words were spoken, the whole place fell into deathly silence. But everyone burst into laughter. Har har har. Grass. What did we hear? This country bumpkin actually threatened young Master Wei to kneel down and bark like a dog. No. Didn't he understand the situation? We have more than a dozen people here. Who gave this bastard the courage to do this? Everyone around Wei Suonan was laughing so hard that they were bent over backwards. Wei Suonan was laughing so hard that his stomach hurt. "Wang Badan, you are really awesome. You are just a bumpkin from the countryside. I am really curious about who gave you such courage." Bang! But just as the words fell, Ling Feng raised his leg and kicked. With a loud bang, Wei Suonan was caught off guard and flew out, hitting a big tree heavily. The tree was dented, and Wei Suonan's face was completely disfigured. Blood was flying from his nose, and he screamed like a pig being slaughtered. "Arr!" Suddenly, everyone in the audience was stunned. What the hell? This country bumpkin actually dared to do that. And it's so violent. Does he still have the king's lore in his eyes? Everyone looked as if they were in a dream. In Jiangyan City, who would dare to treat Wei Suonan like this? You actually dare to attack me in this situation. Wei Suonan touched the blood from his nose and was so angry that he was mad. Bang! However, Ling Feng stepped forward and slapped him in the face. Bang! What's wrong with you? Bang! Why did you bring someone to cause trouble for me for no apparent reason? Bang! You think you're so impressive? Bang! And you threatened me to stay away from my wife? Bang! Who gave you the face? Bang! You keep asking me to kneel down. Do you think you are the top leader of Jiangyan City? Are you worthy enough? Ling Feng showed no mercy, slapping Wei Suonan on the face one palm after another. Wei Suonan cried out in pain, his eyes bloodshot. "Wang Badan, you dare to slap me so many times, have you ever thought about the consequences for you, a country bumpkin?" Bang! Ling Feng slapped him hard again, and said with a smile, "What consequences can there be? Am I not still standing here? You're looking for death." Wei Suonan's eyes almost popped out of his head in anger. "What the hell are you guys still standing there for? Kill him for me." Swish, swish, swish. As Wei Suonan gave the order, dozens of thugs reacted immediately and rushed towards Ling Feng with murderous intent, howling like ghosts and wolves. "Are you tired of living?" At this moment, a voice that was extremely frightened and angry suddenly sounded. Everyone looked back and saw a Toyota Prado approaching quickly. The license plate is extremely special. The man who got off the car was even more impressive. He was obviously from the upper class, a real dandy boy. Behind him, there were 4 or 5 men lined up neatly, all of them were top-notch masters. The aura of these people is many times stronger than that of Wei Suonan's dozen thugs. What? It's Master Chen. Why is Mr. Chen here? The dozen or so thugs were all shocked, and then they all shouted to him respectfully, "Greetings, Master Chen." Chen Beixian. Wei Suonan was also shocked. You know, Chen Beixian was a well-known figure in the upper-class circles of Jiangyan City, and he had also drunk with him. He suddenly thought, could it be that Chen Beixian saw him being bullied and came to stand up for him? Har har har. Wei Suonan was immediately extremely excited, pointing at Ling Feng with a look of malice. "Boy, you're dead. Do you know who he is? He is Chen Beixian, the son of Jiangyan City's #1 real estate tycoon. In the real estate industry, he is a master of his own trade." However, Chen Beixian's face was extremely livid. He didn't even look at Wei Suonan. He walked straight to Ling Feng, bent his body at 90 degrees, and shouted respectfully and cautiously, "I'm sorry, young Master Ling. It's all our fault that we came a step late and frightened you. Don't worry, Since this kid has made you unhappy, I promise that next time, I will make him clearly realize what it means to be in excruciating pain. Chapter 7. The sky has fallen in Jiangyan City. What? Boom? As soon as these words came out, Wei Suonan and the others were struck by lightning. What did they hear? Chen Beixian actually addressed Ling Feng, a country bumpkin, as Mr. Ling. It even looks like he wants to teach Wei Suonan a lesson for Ling Feng. Wei Suonan was also stunned, and said indignantly, Mr. Chen, did you recognize the wrong person? This kid is just a country boy. How dare you? However, Chen Beixian was already afraid that Ling Feng would be furious, and he did not expect that Wei Suonan would dare to speak rudely at this critical moment. He immediately rushed over and kicked Wei Suonan hard. With a bang, Wei Suonan was kicked hard in the abdomen, adding insult to injury. He almost cried out in pain, Chen Beixian, are you crazy? The one you should attack is this bastard king. You still say that? Chen Beixian's expression was so gloomy that it could drip water. He went up and slapped him hard. Bang! Who gave you the guts to talk to Master Ling like that? Bang! Even my father doesn't dare to speak rudely to young Master Ling. Who the hell do you think you are? How dare you point fingers here? Bang! Kneel down in front of Master Ling right now. Beg for Master Ling's forgiveness, or else, you will lose your life today. What? You want me to kneel down and apologize to him? Wei Suonan was so angry that he almost had a cerebral hemorrhage. He said angrily, Chen Beixian, are you crazy? Yes, in the upper class circle, you are doing better than me, so I should call you brother. But this damn Wang Badan is just a country bumpkin with no power and influence, and you actually turned against me for him. I really can't understand what on earth this country bumpkin has that makes you so afraid. You're looking for death. Chen Beixian was so angry that he punched Wei Suonan in the face. Then, he pulled his head and slammed it against the ground again and again, say it one last time. Kneel down and apologize. Otherwise, you'll die. Wei Suonan's head was soon covered in blood. He could tell that Chen Beixian was serious. He couldn't understand why Ling Feng, a country bumpkin, could get Chen Beixian's support. But thinking of Chen Beixian's background, he could only grit his teeth, hate and kneel in front of Ling Feng with a face full of shame. I'm sorry. I was wrong. Ling Feng glanced at Wei Suonan, whose face was covered in blood, calmly, then reached out and patted Wei Suonan's face, saying calmly, you want to snatch a woman from me, Ling Feng, you'd better take a mirror and look at yourself. This time, I, Ling Feng, will spare your life. If you do it again, you'll be finished with the Wei family. Wei Suonan was so humiliated that he wanted to cut Ling Feng into pieces, but he could only swallow his anger. Okay. I'll remember it. Go away. After Wei Suonan and the others left in a very embarrassed manner, Ling Feng looked at Chen Beixian, raised his eyebrows, and said impatiently, tell me, what does it mean that you attacked me for no reason? Chen Beixian took a deep breath and said respectfully, Mr. Ling, it's nothing special. My father heard that you came down the mountain, so he wanted to invite you to the Chen family for a gathering. Let my Chen family give you a good welcome. Just for this. Ling Feng heard this, but said calmly, let's talk about it when we have time. Now I have to go out clothes shopping with my wife. Chen Beixian was a little unwilling. Mr. Ling, you must have time in the evening. Ling Feng raised his eyebrows and asked, what? Are you teaching me how to do things? I dare not. Chen Beixian hurriedly shook his head and said with a cautious look, then I will come to invite Master Ling when he is free. Also, this is my business card. If you need anything, Master Ling, you can call me anytime and I will be there as soon as possible. As he spoke, Chen Beixian carefully handed his business card to Ling Feng. Ling Feng accepted it reluctantly, and when he heard the roar of a car, he said calmly, okay, you can go now, my wife will be here soon. Okay. Then we won't bother Master Ling anymore. Chen Beixian and others retreated obediently. After a while, Su Qingye arrived in her Maserati, but her eyes were frowned, a little unbelievable. Ling Feng, I think I saw Chen Beixian, and he was nodding and bowing to you, what's going on? Ling Feng, however, chuckled and said, it's simple. His father is my younger brother's younger brother and wanted to treat me to a meal, but I had an appointment with you, so I rejected them. Su Qingye glared at him, but rolled her eyes and said, just brag, the #1 real estate tycoon in Jiangyan City is your little brother's little brother. Hurry up and get in the car. I'll take you shopping for clothes. Good wife. Ling Feng sat on the passenger seat and said with great enjoyment, "My wife's car is so comfortable and beautiful. It must have cost a lot of money, right?" "It's not expensive, just over 1 million. Su Qingye snorted, but she couldn't help showing pride on her face, because this car was earned from a project she did herself, without using a penny from the family. The sports car moved forward and soon arrived at a men's and women's clothing store called Hennessy. As soon as he entered, Ling Feng was shocked by the scene in front of him. In addition to the neat and elegant men's clothing on the left, the right side is full of women's coats, underwear and the like, especially the underwear, which is not only colorful, but also lace and hollow. Ling Feng couldn't help but curl up a smile. "I didn't expect that the women in the city are so playful." "You bastard, be quiet." Su Qingye glared at Ling Feng fiercely, then brought Ling Feng to a pile of men's clothing and said to the female shopping guide in a very arrogant manner, "Pack this one, that one, pack it up for me. Forget it, let's wrap up all of this row. It will be just right for later use and suitable for various occasions." The men around who were accompanying their wives to buy clothes were so jealous that their eyes almost glowed green. "Fuck. This country bumpkin is so lucky. He's eating free meals, so damn enviable." Ling Feng was staring at the female shopping guide, her slender and charming long legs, and sighed slightly, "These legs are so white." "Pervert." Su Qingye pinched Ling Feng fiercely and snorted coldly, "Country bumpkin. Those are the white stockings I wear." "White stockings. They are quite charming. How about you wear one for me when you get back, wife?" "You wish. Hurry up and change my clothes." Su Qingye gave Ling Feng a slap on the face, and Ling Feng then obediently went to the fitting room. About a minute later, when Ling Feng came out in a suit, Su Qingye and the female shopping guide were shocked. Because Ling Feng is good looking to begin with, and because of his training, clothes make the man, and with such high-end clothes, not only does his status immediately improve, but his temperament and handsomeness instantly become a higher dimension. It seems that he is several times more handsome than those popular male stars in the entertainment industry. Is this really the same person? Su Qingye was a little stunned. She didn't expect that Ling Feng would be so handsome just by changing his clothes. But because of this, it immediately attracted a beautiful middle-aged woman who had just walked into the specialty store. When she saw Ling Feng, her eyes widened, and she immediately came up with her 2 bodyguards to chat him up. "Handsome boy, can I meet you?" Su Qingye was stunned, while Ling Feng raised his eyebrows. "Damn, didn't you see that I have a girlfriend? And you're asking for trouble? The most important thing is that you put on such thick foundation that it's almost frosted, and you're not qualified to flirt with me." Ling Feng immediately rejected her without mercy. "Sorry, I'm not interested in you." He, the handsome boy does have a lot of personality, but the more he's like this, the more I like him." "Name your price. No matter how much money you spend, I can satisfy you. As long as you stay with me for one night." The beautiful middle-aged woman Chu Meiling smiled extremely strongly, looking at Ling Feng as if he was looking at a forbidden delicacy, and her tone was even more overbearing, arrogant, and playful, which made people feel very disgusted. Instantly, Ling Feng's face turned ugly. Is this old woman sick? Even if I want to be a gigolo, I will be a gigolo of a beautiful girl. You old woman, don't you know how much you weigh? Get out. I feel sick when I see an old woman like you. Ling Feng then pushed Chu Meiling away and said mercilessly, not giving Chu Meiling any face at all. Boy, who gave you the courage to speak to our boss like that? Chu Meiling's 2 bodyguards' eyes suddenly turned cold, and murderous intent was revealed. Su Qingye saw that the situation was not good, and quickly said to Chu Meiling, "Sorry, sister, he already has a girlfriend, you should find another job." Bang! However, Chu Meiling raised her hand and slapped Su Qingye hard on the face, cursing, "Bitch, did I allow you to interrupt? Depend on. How dare you hit your own wife?" Ling Feng suddenly became angry, raised his leg and kicked Chu Meiling hard. Bang! Chu Meiling was caught off guard and flew out, hitting a row of hangers heavily. Even her face that had been reconstructed was almost deformed. Chu Meiling didn't expect that Ling Feng would dare to treat her like this. Her eyes were red with anger and she said, "You little bastard, you are looking for death. Break his legs for me. I will personally torture him until he collapses." As soon as their words fell, the 2 tall and strong bodyguards moved. As soon as he moved, he was like a tiger out of its cage, with endless killing intent. Su Qingye's expression suddenly changed. "Ling Feng, be careful. I really give you face, don't I? Ling Feng's eyes turned cold, and then he took a step forward and punched out fiercely. Bang! On the spot, the chests of the two bodyguards collapsed, and they spit out blood and fainted on the spot. What? Chu Mailing's pretty eyes suddenly widened in shock. She was completely dismayed. She could never have imagined that Ling Feng was so fierce. Seeing Ling Feng taking care of the two bodyguards and walking towards her again, her body couldn't help but tremble slightly. What are you going to do? Little bastard, I'm telling you, Chu Mailing, I'm not someone you can easily mess with, and my background is not something you can look up to. If you dare to touch me, I guarantee that you won't survive tomorrow. Su Qingya looked at Chu Mailing, who was full of resentment and cruelty, and subconsciously pulled the corner of Ling Feng's clothes. Ling Feng, let's forget it. Crack. However, Ling Feng stepped forward and kicked, breaking one of Chu Mailing's legs. Arr! Chu Mailing screamed like a pig being slaughtered, her eyes bloodshot from the pain. You little bastard, how dare you break my leg? You're dead. Your whole family is dead. You still dare to threaten me? Ling Feng raised his eyebrows and snorted coldly. He kicked Chu Mailing's other leg and broke it alive. Then, he looked down at her and said indifferently, listen carefully, old woman. You are the one who is looking for trouble and seeking your own death. Don't blame me. Also, if you want revenge, just come and seek it from me, Ling Feng. But if you dare to touch my wife or anyone around her, then you'll have to prepare a coffin for yourself. As he spoke, Ling Feng looked at Su Qingya, who had a dazed look on her face, turned around, hugged her waist, and said calmly, wife, let's go. Ling Feng and Su Qingya had just left and someone called the police, and soon after, a car from the guard house arrived. Quick! Seal off the scene. The leader was a very energetic middle-aged man with a square face. When he walked into the clothing store and saw the miserable Chu Mailing in front of him, his head suddenly started buzzing. Because the injured person in front of him was none other than the woman of the head of the Zhang family, a mercenary family. At the same time, Chu Mailing also had a brother, a madman named Chu Baolong, who killed people without hesitation and intimidated the entire provincial capital for decades. If the two of them knew that Chu Mailing had become like this, he couldn't imagine how bloody the Jiangyang city would be next. After a long while, He Qinxiong, one of the middle-aged men who was one of the inspectors of the guardhouse, spoke tremblingly and said in horror, it's over. The sky of Jiangyang city has collapsed. No matter who it is, if they touch Chu Mailing, their entire family will be buried with them. Rivers of blood will flow. Chapter 8 Misunderstanding with Su Qingya's best friend. The instigator, Ling Feng, and Su Qingya had already returned to the Su family villa. However, the two did not go back to the room together, because Mr. Su seemed to have something to talk to Su Qingya about and asked her to come over. So Su Qingya asked Ling Feng to go back to her room first. Seeing that Su Qingya and Ling Feng were getting closer and closer, Zhao Linfei couldn't help but say to Su Dongshan with disgust, Dongshan, are we really going to let this little bastard live in our Su family forever? If he really becomes our Su family for even a minute, our Su family's assets will sooner or later fall into the hands of this bumpkin. Su Dongshan raised his eyebrows and said coldly, you think too much. Sooner or later, I will find a way to drive this bumpkin out of the Su family. It just so happens that tomorrow our Su family is going to bid for a project from the Comet Consortium, the top consortium in the provincial capital. Let Qingya take this kid with him. When the time comes, I will make him lose face and know how big the gap is between him and my daughter. In this way, I think he will be so ashamed that he will feel inferior to Qingya and realize that he is not from the same world as Qingya. He will then take the initiative to leave Qingya. Get out of our Su family. When Zhao Linfei heard this, her face was immediately filled with joy. This is a good idea, let's decide it. On the other side, Ling Feng had just returned to Su Qingya's room. Feeling a little tired, he prepared to lie on the bed and rest for a while. So he took off his coat and got under the covers. But as soon as he lay down, Ling Feng found something wrong, because he always felt that there seemed to be something soft around him. It's just like the human body. He subconsciously reached to the left, and it didn't matter what he did, he directly touched something very special. And it is very elastic. Holy crap! What the hell is this? Ling Feng pulled open the quilt out of curiosity, and when he did, he was stunned. Because, inside the quilt, there was a body lying there, whose temptation was so fatal. Hey, this, where did this beauty come from? Ling Feng couldn't help swallowing and felt his whole body inexplicably dry in the mouth. You bastard, who are you? The owner of the delicate body, Lin Ruoxue, was terrified, her pretty eyes were filled with fear. She is Su Qingya's best friend and just came back from the provincial capital today. Since she has a very good relationship with Su Qingya, she can enter and leave Su Qingya's room at will. Moreover, I was very tired after sitting in the car for half a day today, so I wanted to take a rest. The most important thing is that she has a fatal habit, which is sleeping naked. But she could never have imagined that a man would suddenly appear in Su Qingya's room. The most terrifying thing was that before she woke up, she clearly felt a pair of dirty hands wandering somewhere on her body. Ling Feng looked at her innocently, and said speechlessly, I should be the one asking you this question, right? Where did you come from in my wife's room? Wife? A big question mark appeared in Lin Ruoxue's mind. She had never heard her best friend Su Qingya mention that she had a husband. She had always been single. How could this bastard claim to be Qingya's husband? You filthy rascal! You bullied me. How dare you stay here and pretend to be Qingya's husband? I'm calling the police. Lin Ruoxue was so angry that her chest was shaking with anger. As she spoke, she subconsciously reached for the cell phone beside the bed. It didn't matter that she turned sideways, Ling Feng could see everything on her back clearly. You bastard, close your dog eyes. Lin Ruoxue was suddenly in tears. She quickly wrapped herself in the quilt and punched Ling Feng's eyes hard again. Ling Feng dodged subconsciously, then grabbed Lin Ruoxue's fist and pulled her into his arms. Behave yourself, you broke into my wife's room and acted like a hooligan. I'm lucky I didn't call the police to arrest you. Woo-woo. After these words came out, Lin Ruoxue was about to cry. Is there any justice in the world? Her body was seen naked by this stinky hooligan, and this stinky hooligan actually bit her back. You bastard, I'm going to fight you. Lin Ruoxue was so angry that she grabbed Ling Feng's arm and bit it hard, causing Ling Feng to grimace in pain. Damn. You are a dog. If you bite me again, I'll kill you. Lin Ruoxue gnashed her teeth and stared at Ling Feng hatefully. How dare you? There is nothing in this world that I dare not do. Ling Feng smiled coldly, then pushed Lin Ruoxue down on the bed, ready to punish her severely. But, at this moment, what are you doing? An extremely angry scream was heard, and Su Qingya, who was trembling with anger, was seen standing at the door, witnessing the whole scene in rage. Wife! Qingya! Ling Feng and Lin Ruoxue both blushed, feeling extremely embarrassed. Lin Ruoxue bit her lip and hurriedly explained, Qingya, it's not what you saw. It's this stinky hooligan who wanted to bully me. Ling Feng was full of grievance, and he said, Wife, you are finally here. You don't know that this woman not only acted like a hooligan in the room without clothes, but also tried to force herself on me. You. Hearing Ling Feng's lies, Lin Ruoxue almost vomited blood in anger. This bastard is so shameless. Su Qingya stared at Lin Ruoxue with murderous intent and said, Ruoxue, I am so disappointed in you. Even if Ling Feng is handsome, you can't steal my man so blatantly, right? Lin Ruoxue was about to cry. No, she was the one being bullied. Looking at Ling Feng, who was still laughing secretly, Lin Ruoxue wanted to cut him into pieces. She took a deep breath and said helplessly, Qingya, who am I? Don't you know me? You know that I have been a virgin for so many years. If I wanted to seduce a man, I would have been in ecstasy every night. What's more, this stinky hooligan has no muscles and looks just a little handsome. How could I be interested in him? Su Qingya had a cold face and said nothing. Lin Ruoxue had no choice but to use her trump card. Okay. If it was really me who seduced him, I would go out and get hit by a car and die immediately. Is that okay? As soon as these words came out, Su Qingya immediately stepped forward and covered Lin Ruoxue's mouth. What nonsense are you talking about? I believe you. Then, he glared at Ling Feng fiercely again. Behave yourself, Ruoxue is my best friend. If you do anything worse than an animal to her, I will never let you go. Lin Ruoxue looked at Ling Feng with disgust and asked curiously, Ruoxue, he just called himself your husband, what's going on? Su Qingya had a helpless look on her face and told the whole story. Lin Ruoxue was immediately stunned and cursed. Fuck. Is this true? This boy actually slept with you. And he broke your virginity. No, what ability does he have to conquer you so easily? Su Qingya rolled her eyes and looked at the big-breasted and brainless Lin Ruoxue and said, don't underestimate him. Although he doesn't have any great abilities, his medical skills are very impressive. He cured my grandfather. His medical skills can be regarded as a miracle doctor. A miracle doctor. Lin Ruoshua curled her lips and said, "Can you believe it? He is a miracle doctor." "You don't believe it." Ling Feng snorted and said confidently, "Do you believe it or not, I can see the problem with you at a glance." Har. Lin Ruoshua chuckled and said with disdain, "Then I'm all ears." Ling Feng said seriously and eloquently, "If I'm not mistaken, you must have had excessive liver fire and severe endocrine disorders recently. Even your period hasn't come for 2 months. Also, your breasts are getting bigger, right?" Swish. As soon as these words came out, Lin Ruoshua's eyes widened immediately, because Ling Feng said exactly what he said. Just when she was shocked, Ling Feng changed the subject, smiled slyly, and said kindly, "Of course, if you let me rub it for you, I think you will be able to solve these troubles soon." Chapter 9, Go to Black Dragon Group to collect debts. Get lost. You filthy rascal, you're trying to take advantage of me again. Lin Ruoshua's pretty face immediately turned red to her ears. She raised her long legs and kicked Ling Feng fiercely. Ling Feng seemed to be caught off guard and couldn't dodge, but in fact he grabbed Lin Ruoshua's long legs and gave her a fierce blow. Then he said to Su Qingya with an innocent face, "Wife, look at your best friend, she is so cruel. I was kind enough to help her solve the problem, but she still attacked me. It's so hard to be a good person these days." "Shut up." Su Qingya glared at Ling Feng fiercely. She could see that Ling Feng was clearly trying to take advantage of her best friend under the pretext of curing her illness. Then, she kindly reminded Lin Ruoshua, "Why don't you put your clothes on the bed quickly? Do you really want my husband to see you enough?" "Oh." Lin Ruoshua finally reacted and said to Ling Feng fiercely, "You bastard, get out of here. I need to change my clothes." Ling Feng had no choice but to leave the room tactfully under the ferocious looks of the two women. After a while, Lin Ruoshua changed her clothes, and Su Qingya called Ling Feng in. After changing her clothes, Lin Ruoshua was no longer as lethally attractive as before, but under the support of her erotic outfit and stockings, she still looked very beautiful. Ling Feng was drooling as he watched. Su Qingya warned him, "Behave yourself. If you try to hit on my best friend, I'll show you how I'll deal with you later." "Good wife." Ling Feng nodded obediently, but he couldn't help but complain in his heart, "We are all best friends. As the saying goes, good things should be kept within the family. It's better for me to benefit than for those bastards outside, right?" Su Qingya asked Lin Ruoshua seriously, "Ruoshua, weren't you staying well in the provincial capital? Why did you suddenly return to Jiangyang City?" Lin Ruoshua sighed and said with a worried look on her face, "This is the task given to me by the family. 3 months ago, the Black Dragon Group in Jiangyang City took a batch of goods from our family. The family has not received the balance yet, and the family asked me to collect this bad debt. At the same time, they used this matter as a threat. If I don't handle it, they will make me marry someone I don't like, Chen Xiang, so as to achieve a win-win situation for the family marriage. Alas, you are also a poor person." Su Qingya couldn't help but look at Lin Ruoshua with some sympathy, and then, she said with a fearful look, "Moreover, the Black Dragon Group is a well-known evil group in Jiangyang City. Ordinary people who go to collect debts will either have their legs broken or be beaten to death and thrown into the river to feed the fish. Isn't it obvious that your family is sending you to die?" Lin Ruoshua said with a look of despair, "What can I do? If I can't accomplish it, I will have to marry a man I don't like." However, at this moment, Ling Feng said in a shocking tone, "Isn't it just a bad debt? As long as you are willing to give me 500,000, I will help you settle this matter. Kindness." After these words came out, Su Qingya and Lin Ruoshua looked at Ling Feng in disbelief. Lin Ruoshua said with a funny face, "You bastard, you can do that. Do you know what kind of existence the Black Dragon Group is? It is said that the Black Dragon Group has more than 100 retired special forces soldiers from abroad, and among them, there is also a congenital master. You should not know what a congenital master is like, right? That is a person who can punch through 10 steel plates with one punch. With a body like yours, you'll probably die on the spot if you get hit by one punch." Su Qingya also said in a low voice, "Ling Feng, don't try to be a hero. The Black Dragon Group is not something you can afford to provoke." Ling Feng smiled with extraordinary confidence and said, "What if I really did it?" Lin Ruoshua snorted coldly and said, if you really do this, I will serve you tea and water and call you daddy. Dad, no need. I don't want to be a father so soon. Let's do this. If I really help you get it done, you can let me rub you a few times. In this way, the task is completed and your body becomes better. It's the best of both worlds. How about it? Ling Feng smiled slyly, staring straight at the two lumps on Lin Ruoshua's chest, which made people think of something very naughty. You rascal, you are always thinking about Ruoshua's breasts. Do you think hers are bigger than mine and feel better than mine? Su Qingye immediately became jealous and looked at Ling Feng with a cold face. Ling Feng scratched his head and said seriously, "Wife, you misunderstood. I like your breasts, too. The main thing is that your best friend is really sick. I really just want to help her. If she continues like this, she will probably go through menopause. Don't think I'm scaring you, because there must be something wrong with her breasts now. In Chinese medicine terms, it is very likely that she has a small tumor." What? I have a small tumor on my chest. Lin Ruoshua was shocked and looked a little scared. You bastard, don't scare me. Su Qingye looked at Ling Feng coldly and said, "Are you sure you're not saying this just to take advantage of me?" Ling Feng raised a finger and swore, "Wife, I guarantee with my character that I really just want to cure her." Su Qingye thought about it and thought that if it was for medical treatment, it would be understandable. Okay, if that's the case, I have no objection. It all depends on Ruoshua's wishes. Lin Ruoshua stared at Ling Feng with doubt and said, "You bastard, I have to go to the hospital to check this matter first. If it is really as you said, I can consider it, but the premise is that you have to help me get back the bad debt from the Black Dragon Group. I, Ling Feng, will stick to my word once it's spoken. I'll help you get it done if I say so. Let's go. While it's still early. Let's go directly to the Black Dragon Group." Ling Feng said this lightly, not taking the Black Dragon Group seriously at all. Lin Ruoshua widened her eyes and asked, "Are you sure you don't want to make some preparations?" Ling Feng smiled and said, "What's there to be afraid of just a bunch of chickens and dogs? I alone am enough to wipe out the entire Black Dragon Group. Just keep bragging. I hope that later, when you are beaten to death by the people from the Black Dragon Group, you will never let us help out." Lin Ruoshua snorted coldly, not believing that Ling Feng could take over the entire Black Dragon Group. Su Qingye was very curious about how her cheap husband had the confidence to be so calm in the face of the Black Dragon Group. So she followed Lin Ruoshua and Ling Feng to the Black Dragon Group. Black Dragon Group. It is a well-known entertainment group in Jiangyan City. Because the Black Dragon Group not only encompasses 2/3 of the entertainment industry in Jiangyan City, but also at least 3/10 of the people in the upper class are members of the Black Dragon Group. Therefore, in the entertainment industry, the Black Dragon Group can be said to have absolute control over everything. There are only a handful of people who dare to cause trouble in the Black Dragon Group. However, this myth is about to be broken. It's because Ling Feng, the #1 of Isledor in Hidden Dragon Island, has arrived. Chapter 10. So handsome and fierce. Su Qingye and Lin Ruoshua were looking at the Black Dragon Group in front of them, and their two pairs of beautiful legs couldn't help but tremble. Because, there were 4 burly men standing in front of him guarding the gate. Moreover, they had fierce faces and it was obvious that they had blood on their hands. Suddenly, Su Qingye and Lin Ruoshua couldn't help but back off. The 4 burly men looked at Su Qingye and Lin Ruoshua with a playful look on their faces, and asked in a teasing tone, "Such pretty girls, what are you doing?" Lin Ruoxu subconsciously took 2 steps back and mustered up the courage to say, "I am Lin Ruoshua, the eldest daughter of the Lin family. Previously, your Black Dragon Group owed my family a sum of money for goods. Can you see if you can settle some of the money for our family?" "Oh, so you're here to collect debts." The 4 burly men smiled amusedly and said, "Girl, let me tell you the truth. There are at least 100 people from our Black Dragon Group who have come to collect debts these days, but do you know what their final fate is?" Lin Ruoshua swallowed her saliva and asked with some fear, "What will happen?" It wasn't a terrible ending. Just had his hands and feet broken, his eyes gouged out, and he spent the rest of his life in a wheelchair. The 4 burly men spoke lightly, but Lin Ruoshua was frightened to the point of paleness. The Black Dragon Group was too ruthless. The 4 burly men stared at Lin Ruoshua with evil faces and said, "Of course, little girl, since you are pretty, if you are willing to accompany us for one night, we brothers may be able to ask our boss for mercy and ask him to say a few good words in front of the chairman." Maybe, if our chairman is happy, he can reward you with 100,000 or 80,000. Lin Ruoshua's pretty face flushed red when she heard this. Shameless. Forget it, I don't want the money, let's go, Qingya. Having said that, Lin Ruoshua was about to turn around and pull Su Qingya away. However, at this moment, Ling Feng took a step forward, raised his hand and slapped the four burly men hard on the face, and said calmly, "You are here to collect debts, why are you talking so much nonsense with them?" Then, he said calmly to the four burly men, "I'll give you 1 minute to get the person in charge of the Black Dragon Group to pay off the Lin family's debts and kneel down to apologize to my wife's best friend. Otherwise, I, Ling Feng, will dismantle the Black Dragon Group myself." What? The four burly men with burning faces were stunned and furious. Boy, are you tired of living? How dare you be so presumptuous in our Black Dragon Group? Seeing that the matter was about to get out of hand, Lin Ruoshua immediately tried to smooth things over. "Brothers, he was just joking, don't take it seriously." However, their words had just fallen. Bang! Ling Feng raised his foot and kicked the four burly men hard. Boom! Immediately, the four burly men were caught off guard and flew out, hitting the tempered glass directly. The tempered glass shattered into pieces, and they vomited blood from their mouths. However, Ling Feng looked at the four sturdy men who looked horrible, and said with a disdainful smile, "Well, I am just tired of living, what can you do to me?" "Ling Feng, are you crazy?" Lin Ruoshua was suddenly shocked and confused. She could never have imagined that Ling Feng would solve the problem in such a violent way. "Wang Badan, are you really that brave?" At this moment, an extremely angry voice sounded. Then I saw a bald man with scars all over his face and a murderous look walking towards me quickly. Behind him, there were more than 100 men in black holding batons, who were obviously the men who would kill without blinking an eye. The four burly men covered in blood immediately covered their chests when they saw the bald man and shouted respectfully, "Third Master. You arrived just in time. You have no idea how arrogant this guy is. Not only did he seriously injure us, he even threatened our Black Dragon Group. Waste." However, the bold third in command, Xiao Hanlong, rushed forward and slammed a stick on the heads of the four burly men. The four men's heads exploded and they fainted on the spot. Then, he looked at Ling Feng with murderous intent and said, "Boy, you are the first one who dares to cause trouble in our Black Dragon Group. Tell me, how do you want to die?" Seeing Xiao Han being so brutal, Lin Ruoshua's scalp tingled. "Third Master, right. I'm sorry, my friend was young and frivolous and offended you. I'm here to apologize to you. In addition, I will pay for all the medical expenses of your injured people. I also hope that you can show mercy and let my friend go." Har Xiao Han sneered, his face full of coldness. "He was so arrogant in my Black Dragon Group and hurt people. Do you think it's possible for me to let him go just because you apologize? Then what do you want?" Lin Ruoshua's face was grim. "Simple. Since you have big breasts and a nice butt, I'll give you 2 choices. 1, play with me for 2 hours, and then make this guy kneel down and call me master, and I'll spare his life. 2, I'll do it myself, and you and this guy will both pay the price today." Xiao Han's face was full of ferocity, as if he had Lin Ruoshua in his grasp. In the Black Dragon Group, he has played with many women. But this was his first time to see a beauty like Lin Ruoshua, who had a 36D breast. Par. However, Ling Feng clapped his hands, looked at George Han with a funny face and said, "Not bad, you even know to give my friend 2 choices. I am different. I'm only giving you 1 choice." "What choice?" George Han raised his eyebrows subconsciously. "You will spend the rest of your life in a wheelchair." After a very cold and indifferent voice, Ling Feng moved, and raised his 43-yard big foot again, and kicked it fiercely, hitting Xiao Han's legs and eyes exactly. Snap! An extremely piercing breaking sound rang out, and Xiao Han immediately let out a pig-killing scream. My leg is broken. Third Master." The other hundreds of men in black saw this and their eyes were red with anger. They said, "Boy, you are looking for death. Kill him." Xiao Han yelled like crazy. As the third in command of the Black Dragon Group, he had never suffered such a great humiliation. Hundreds of men in black suddenly became murderous, and with their batons in their hands, they violently yanked and smashed towards Ling Feng's head. "Careful!" Lin Ruoshua and Su Qingya screamed in surprise at the same time. However, Ling Feng had no intention of dodging. Instead, he raised his eyes slightly, and then took a step forward, like a tiger out of the sea. In the blink of an eye, he was like a wolf among a flock of sheep, punching one by one, screaming continuously. In just a blink of an eye, hundreds of men in black fell to the ground collectively, wailing in pain, and blood flowed like a river. But this is not the scariest thing. The scariest thing is, there were more than 100 batons, but Ling Feng crushed them into pieces like toys. Everyone who was watching the excitement was stunned. Lin Ruoshua's heart was beating wildly, her eyes were full of excitement, and somewhere in her heart, she almost had an immediate reaction: so handsome. So fierce. Chapter 11, Innate Master. Killed with a slap. Even Su Qingya looked at him with admiration and inexplicable pride. My gangster husband, is he such a good fighter? Ling Feng looked at Xiao Han, who had a dazed, shocked, angry, and horrified look on his face. He looked down at him and sneered, is this all the thugs of the so-called Black Dragon group are capable of? It's just that the mother of garbage opened the door for garbage, and garbage has arrived at home. You. Hearing Ling Feng's extremely arrogant and harsh voice, Xiao Han was immediately humiliated and wanted to cut Ling Feng into pieces. Boy, don't be too proud. Let me tell you, in the Black Dragon group, my eldest brother, the chairman of the Black Dragon group, Yi Xiaoyun, is the most awesome. When my eldest brother debuted, you didn't even know where to drink milk. Before this matter reaches my eldest brother's ears, you'd better kneel down and apologize to me immediately, and send the 2 women beside you to my bed, otherwise. Crack. But before he could finish his words, Ling Feng took a step forward and kicked George Han's third leg directly, breaking it. Otherwise, what will you do? Since I, Ling Feng, dare to come to your Black Dragon group to cause trouble, am I still afraid of your big brother Yi Xiaoyun? Hiss. Seeing Ling Feng's fierce movements, the people around him were almost scared to death. Too arrogant. Too arrogant. It's too outrageous. Too ignorant of life and death. They can't imagine how horribly Ling Feng would die if Yi Xiaoyun found out about this. Lin Ruoshua, who inexplicably admired Ling Feng, was horrified. She pulled Ling Feng and said anxiously, let's go. Otherwise, we will definitely die miserably soon. Let us go. Ling Feng was not moved at all, and said calmly, the matter has not been resolved yet, why are you leaving? I said that I will help you get the money today, and you will definitely get it. Lin Ruoshua was almost crying with fear, are you really going to die? Su Qingya asked Ling Feng with concern, are you sure you can deal with Yi Xiaoyun? If you are afraid, just wait for me outside. Ling Feng was not afraid at all. He then looked at the man in black who was still able to move in front of him and said murderously, you take me to find Yi Xiaoyun, or I will cripple your third leg as well. The man in black felt extremely humiliated and resentful, but he did not dare to disobey Ling Feng. After all, the example of the third master was right there in front of him. I can take you there. But I promise you won't survive more than 10 minutes. Whether I can survive for 10 minutes is not up to you, but I estimate that you, the third master, will die soon. Ling Feng said this very calmly, and then followed the man in black towards the Black Dragon group. Lin Ruoshua came back to her senses and stamped her feet anxiously. Qingya, you need to think of a solution quickly. Do you really want to watch your cheap husband die? Su Qingya's pretty eyes slightly frowned, but she said firmly, I believe this stinky hooligan, he should be fine. It shouldn't be a problem. He's so stubborn, right? Lin Ruoshua was speechless, but she had no choice. Forget it. Su Qingya herself didn't care about her husband's life or death, and her best friend was jumping up and down. Wouldn't that prove that she and Ling Feng were really having an affair? At this time, Ling Feng had followed the man in black to the second floor of the Black Dragon group. The entire second floor room is decorated in a very magnificent manner, and it is obvious that it could have been built by a super wealthy person. This also shows that the owner of the Black Dragon group is definitely not an ordinary person, but a master who can make things happen in Jiangyang City with a wave of his hand. Sitting in the room was a middle-aged man with neatly combed hair, a black tie, and a stern face, who looked like a big boss. On the left of the middle-aged man sat an old man with sharp eyebrows and an extremely restrained aura. The middle-aged man was none other than the boss behind the Black Dragon group, Yi Xiaoyun. The old man was Wu Zhonghua, the innate master that Yi Xiaoyun had hired at a very high price. Just when Yi Xiaoyun and Wu Zhonghua were chatting and laughing, boasting that the Black Dragon group was going to expand into the provincial capital. Unexpected. Extremely abrupt. Who is Yi Xiaoyun? Kneel down before me now. pay the 10 million in debt. At the same time, pay an additional 5 million in mental damages. I will spare his life. A resounding yet very calm voice resounded, and suddenly, the entire room on the second floor fell into deathly silence. You can hear a pin drop. What did they hear? Someone came to Yi Xiaoyun to collect a debt. And make Yi Xiaoyun kneel down. This can't be described as crazy. This is simply provoking the emperor to take action. Everyone subconsciously looked towards the door, and when they saw Ling Feng, a plain-looking man in his 20s, their eyes widened. Are you kidding me? This kid, I'm afraid he hasn't even grown up yet. He actually dared to speak so rudely to Yi Xiaoyun, the number one boss of the Black Dragon group. Yi Xiaoyun's expression was extremely cold. For many years, so many years that he couldn't even remember how many years it had been, no one dared to cause trouble in the Black Dragon group or even threaten him. Because, basically, those who threatened him have already gone to hell. Immediately, he raised his experienced face, which was boiling with murderous intent, and looked at Ling Feng. He spoke word by word with a chilling tone. Young man, are you sure you were talking to me, Yi Xiaoyun? What else? Ling Feng dug his ears and said casually, it is only natural to pay back a debt. I will not make it difficult for you. As I just said, today, I, Ling Feng, will spare your life. Har har har. After saying this, Yi Yunxiao laughed out loud despite being extremely angry. His smile was no different from that of a sharp knife. Young man, I have seen many arrogant people, but this is the first time I, Yi Xiaoyun, have seen someone as overly arrogant as you. Don't say that I, Yi Xiaoyun, bully you. Take the knife on the table, cut yourself 3 times and then dig out your heart. I can consider not touching your family. What if I refuse? Ling Feng had a playful look on his face and didn't take Yi Yunxiao's words seriously at all. Reject. Then I will not only kill you, but also everyone around you. Moreover, the way they die will definitely not be much better than yours. Yi Xiaoyun's voice seemed to come from the depths of his throat, hot, icy cold, and full of murderous intent. Oh? Are you that awesome? Ling Feng scratched his head, then, in full view of everyone, he took a step forward, raised his hand and slapped Yi Xiaoyun hard on the face. Bang! That's pretty scary. Bang! Do you think I, Ling Feng, was brought up by fear? Bang! Come on, I, Ling Feng, really want to see the cruelty you mentioned. Palm after palm, Yi Xiaoyun's face was slapped. Yi Xiaoyun's face quickly swelled up and was covered with palm prints. The people around were almost frightened to death. Grass. This kid is really looking for death. He actually hit Yi Xiaoyun in the face. Doesn't he know that Yi Xiaoyun's face is his Achilles heel? They dared not imagine how Ling Feng would be chopped into pieces next. Good. Very good. Yi Xiaoyun was touching his burning face, his face was distorted. People who knew Yi Xiaoyun knew that Yi Xiaoyun had murderous intentions, real murderous intentions. Boy, based on the few palm strikes you just gave me, I can basically kill you and your whole family. Master Hua, please help. Remember, spare his life. I will personally torture him until his soul collapses. Everyone's hearts almost burst at once. They were sure that even if the god Ling Feng came down to earth, he couldn't save them. Hua Zhonghua stood up slowly and looked at Ling Feng with a look of disdain, pathos, and ridicule. Young man, I have been practicing martial arts for more than 10 years, and I have killed at least 100 strong men, if not 500. For a kid like you who has barely grown up, I would feel dirty if I kill you. Just kill yourself, you are not worthy of my attack. You old thing are quite pretentious. Ling Feng curled his lips and said calmly, I, Ling Feng, don't kill nameless people. Just tell me your name and you can report to hell. Huh. Hua Zhonghua raised his eyebrows. Ling Feng's arrogance was simply unbearable for him. Young man, listen carefully. I am the owner of Jiangbei Zhonghua Martial Arts School, and I am also the #1 Pili hand in Jiangbei. You, being able to die in my hands is a blessing from your ancestors. As he said that, he suddenly leaped out, grabbing Ling Feng with one hand as if he was grabbing the sky. Moreover, it is full of murderous spirit, and it seems that it can crush a car with one grab. The people around them were immediately terrified. This kid will definitely die without a burial place. Yi Xiaoyun was even more ridiculous. A newborn calf is not afraid of a tiger, but you have to have that ability. Kid, you will soon realize what the most desperate thing is. But, just as the words fell, a terrifying scream sounded, and Wu Zhonghua's thunderbolt hand was shattered alive by Ling Feng. At the same time, Ling Feng lifted Wu Zhonghua's body and slammed it to the ground. With a loud bang, Wu Zhonghua's body exploded on the spot, and his internal organs were shattered. The whole process took less than 3 seconds, and Wu Zhonghua's eyes widened. He was deader than dead. What? The whole place suddenly fell into deathly silence. The sound of people sucking in their breaths of shock continued to ring out, and they looked at Ling Feng as if he were a demon. This guy is a congenital master. He died after a face-to-face encounter with Ling Feng? Where did this guy come from? Is he a demon descending from the mountain? Or a god descending to earth? Chapter 12, Encountering the Second Woman, Han Yuner. Not to mention the other people in the room, even Yi Xiaoyun was terrified to the extreme. No matter what, he could never have imagined that he had spent 100 million to hire Wu Zhonghua to be his personal guard. Unexpectedly, he was killed instantly by Ling Feng, a plain-looking guy, with just one move. Just when he was extremely shocked and his scalp was tingling, Ling Feng's harmless laughter once again rang in his ears. You just said you were going to kill my whole family. Buzz. As soon as these words came out, Yi Xiaoyun's head was buzzing, and a bone-chilling chill filled the air. The owner of the Black Dragon Group was almost frightened to the ground. He fell to his knees in front of Ling Feng with a plop, and said in extreme fear, Boss. Boss, it's a misunderstanding. It's all a misunderstanding. It's all my fault for not recognizing the great man. I kneel down and kowtow to apologize to you. Speaking of. Bang bang bang. He kept kowtowed to Ling Feng, and even though his forehead was bleeding, he didn't care at all. This scene stunned everyone. Once upon a time, Yi Xiaoyun was the nightmare in many people's hearts. But now, he actually knelt down and begged for mercy to a plain-looking young man who was less than 25 years old. If this gets out, how many people will be shocked? Misunderstanding. Ling Feng raised his eyebrows and sneered, Your Black Dragon Group owed my wife's best friend a sum of money. Not only did you not pay her, you even asked my wife's best friend to sleep with you, but in your mouth, it became a misunderstanding. Is there such a thing? Yi Xiaoyun's scalp suddenly felt cold, and he hurriedly explained, Boss, I really don't know much about this matter. I didn't expect that my subordinates would do such a thing to bully others. Please, give me a chance to make a new beginning. You mean, you don't know about this? Ling Feng looked at Yi Xiaoyun with a cold face, smiling. Yi Xiaoyun felt a chill running straight up to his head. Boss, I really didn't know anything about this. Don't worry, I will definitely give you a satisfactory explanation for this matter. I am willing to settle all the accounts immediately and give you 50 million as compensation for your mental damages. Also, from now on, I am your dog. I will do whatever you tell me to do. Woof woof woof. Boss, look, does my dog bark look like a real dog? This scene stunned all the senior executives of the Black Dragon Group present. Ling Feng looked down at him with a cold expression and said, This is not enough. Even if the death penalty can be avoided, the living punishment cannot be escaped. Speaking of. Boom. Ling Feng suddenly took a step forward and stepped directly on Yi Xiaoyun's 5 fingers, crushing them hard. Crack, crack. Suddenly, all 5 of Yi Xiaoyun's fingers were broken. Blood splattered everywhere. His face was almost twisted in pain. Ling Feng showed no mercy at all, and asked calmly, Are you convinced that I can destroy you? Yi Xiaoyun was sweating profusely from the pain, but he didn't dare to feel any resentment or dissatisfaction. He gritted his teeth and said, I surrender. I surrender 1,000 times. I only beg you, big boss, to spare my life. Ling Feng smiled and said harmlessly, It's not impossible to spare your life, but the premise is that you have to rectify the atmosphere of the Black Dragon Group and get forgiveness from my wife and her bestie. If they refuse to forgive you, then I can only send you to hell. As soon as these words came out, Yi Xiaoyun broke out in a cold sweat. With a pale face, Zun Nuo said, Okay, I'll do it right away. Outside the Black Dragon Group, Lin Ruoxue was as anxious as an ant on a hot pot. It's over, Ling Feng hasn't come out for such a long time, most likely something has happened. As soon as she finished speaking, a series of rapid sounds rang out, and then Yi Xiaoyun, whose face was extremely ugly but extremely intimidating, walked out with a group of people. Seeing this scene, Lin Ruoxue's heart sank to the bottom. This is Yi Xiaoyun, the chairman of the Black Dragon Group. It's over. He actually came out before Ling Feng. It seems that Ling Feng is in great danger. Damn rascal. Su Qingye came back to her senses and was also horrified. Although Ling Feng was a bit lustful, he was her man after all. If he died like this, she would be sad for a long, long time. But, just when Su Qingye wanted to rush out to see whether Ling Feng was good or bad, Yi Xiaoyun had already brought a large number of Black Dragon Group executives to the front. Facing Yi Xiaoyun's extremely powerful aura, Lin Ruoxue was terrified. Yi. Chairman Yi, what do you want to do? This is a society ruled by law. Har ha har ha, my big brother is here. The time of your 2 deaths has finally come. The third in command, Xiao Han, who was lying on the ground covered in blood, was extremely excited and stared at Lin Ruoxue and Su Qingye with resentment on his face. However, before he could be happy for 3 seconds, Yi Xiaoyun's murderous gaze suddenly shot over, and then, he shouted coldly, hack him to death. Swish. Following Yi Xiaoyun's order, dozens of men in black rushed forward quickly, drew out their machetes, and attacked Xiao Han in a horrible way. Lin Ruoxue and Su Qingye had never seen such a cruel scene before, and they were immediately frightened as if they were electrocuted. However, just when the 2 women were terrified, Yi Xiaoyun quickly walked in front of them and knelt down with a plop. I'm sorry, Miss Lin, Miss Su, it's all my fault for not teaching you well and scaring you. This is the payment that the Black Dragon Group owes to the Lin family. You must accept it. Also, I hope the 2 young ladies will be magnanimous and forgive me, Yi Xiaoyun. I, Yi Xiaoyun, promise that from now on, the Black Dragon Group will never owe your family any money for goods again. What? As soon as these words came out, Lin Ruoxue and Su Qingye were shocked to death, and the people watching around them were also frightened to the point that their legs went numb. What on earth is going on? This is the chairman of the Black Dragon Group, a murderous villain. He actually took the initiative to kneel down and apologize to Lin Ruoxue and Su Qingye? What is wrong with this world? 5 minutes later. When Ling Feng walked out of the Black Dragon Group unharmed, Lin Ruoxue and Su Qingye looked at him as if they had seen a ghost. Ling Feng, how did you manage all this? Ling Feng smiled and said, it's very simple. The owner of the Black Dragon Group and I learned a life lesson. He suddenly became enlightened and even wanted to worship me as his master. So he was willing to pay off the payment and even promised that from now on, he, Yi Xiaoyun, would do more good deeds to benefit the people of Jiangyang City. That's it. Lin Ruoxue and Su Qingye were immediately in disbelief. Yi Xiaoyun was so easy to talk to, are you kidding me? But it is clear that Yi Yanxie's change of attitude must be related to Ling Feng. This bastard must have a powerful side that no one knows about. Ling Feng stared straight at Lin Ruoxue's curvy breasts, licked his tongue and said, now that everything is settled, shouldn't you fulfill your promise and let me rub them for you? Lin Ruoxue's pretty face immediately turned red to her ears. She rolled her eyes at Ling Feng and said, humph. I have to confirm first that you are not lying and that I am really sick. I will go to the hospital to check it out first. Ling Feng didn't care at all. He was the first to see the moon because he was close to the water. He was afraid that the cooked duck would fly away. When the time comes to fulfill his promise, he must make sure Lin Ruoxue experience for herself what a true massage master is. Su Qingye said kindly, Ruoxue, since there is nothing else to do right now, I will go to the hospital with you and let the doctor check if it is exactly the same as what Ling Feng said. Lin Ruoxue thought about it and agreed, okay, let's go to the hospital now. I have nothing to do, so I'll go with you. Ling Feng took the initiative to suggest. Go shopping by yourself. Su Qingye said righteously, Ruoxue will see a gynecologist later. It's not appropriate for a man like you to go. Okay then. Ling Feng curled his lips, but he didn't make himself unhappy. After Lin Ruoxue and Su Qingye left, Ling Feng was a little confused. He didn't have many acquaintances in Jiangyang City. Where should he go to have fun? He suddenly thought of Chen Beixian and muttered to himself, forget it, it's a good opportunity to go and see the so-called Chen family and learn about the current division of power in Jiangyang City. So Ling Feng took a taxi and asked the taxi driver to go to Chen's house. However, when the car had just driven about 3 kilometers, when Ling Feng looked out the window, he happened to see a young woman with a beautiful appearance and extraordinary temperament standing on the bridge not far away, and she seemed to be committing suicide. But that's not important. Is it her? Ling Feng recognized her at a glance. The graceful, spotless young lady who looked like a fairy descended from the earth was actually one of the women he had a romantic encounter with on Hidden Dragon Island. Stop the car. Ling Feng asked the driver to stop the car without hesitation, and then, regardless of the danger, he crossed the traffic and quickly drove towards the young woman. But when Ling Feng came to the other side of the road and looked at the girl closely, he was immediately shocked. Because the young girl in front of him looked so pure, wearing a white dress that showed off her golden ratio figure, and with a face that looked so delicate that it looked like a fairy who walked out of a painting and was not affected by worldly things. But what made Ling Feng feel extremely angry was that at this moment, the young woman who looked like a fairy from heaven was biting her lips tightly and stepping back step by step. In front of her, there were several extremely well-trained men with extremely sharp eyes, staring at her intently. The leader was a man with triangular eyes and a cold figure. He seemed kind, but spoke to her in a threatening tone. Ms. Henyuner, why are you doing this? As long as you are willing to go back with us, we promise that you will be very happy in the second half of your life. After all, our young master is the most outstanding man in the whole Zhongzhou. I said, I can't be with him. Even if it's my father's matchmaking. Henyuna's eyes were as charming as gems, but she was determined. Then, she bit her lips that were so tender that they could bleed, turned around, and jumped directly into the fast-flowing, icy-cold river. Damn it! Seeing this scene, the leader Zhao Donglai suddenly looked extremely gloomy. You dare to threaten my wife? You are courting death. Ling Feng's eyes were extremely cold. Then, he suddenly stepped across and kicked Zhao Donglai and others away. He jumped into the river without hesitation. Henyuner fell into the water with the courage to die. When she was about to drown, she suddenly felt a pair of big hands grabbing her waist. She subconsciously opened her pretty eyes, but was full of shock. You bastard, it's you. However, just when she was halfway through her words, her tender little mouth was forcibly blocked by Ling Feng. Instantly, she felt a surge of emotions in her mouth, and she burst into ambiguity. You stinky hooligan. You dare to take advantage of me. Chapter 13 Henyuner's Special Physique. A minute later, Ling Feng successfully rescued Henyuner from the icy river water. Ling Feng looked at the beautiful woman in front of him who was soaking wet, licked his lips and said, What on earth made you so depressed that you wanted to commit suicide? If you hadn't been lucky enough to meet me, I'm afraid you would be. Bang! But before Ling Feng could finish his words, Henyuner slapped him. Ling Feng was stunned. Damn it! I saved you out of kindness, why did you hit me? You deserve a beating. Henyuner looked at Ling Feng angrily, her eyes full of tears as she said, You stinky rascal, you slept with me and took away my virginity. I always wanted to find you. Now that I've met you here, you must be responsible for me. Responsible? How to be responsible? Ling Feng asked subconsciously. Henyuner blushed and bit her lips, and finally uttered two words, Marry me. Ling Feng said helplessly, But I already have a wife now. I don't care about you. If you have violated me, you must be responsible for me to the end. Anyway, if you don't marry me, I will die in front of you. Henyuna's attitude was full of determination, as if she had determined on Ling Feng. Ling Feng thought about it. He had slept with her, and Henyuner looked so pure. If she was left outside, she would definitely be bullied. But right now, the most important thing is to figure out why Henyuner was forced to such an extent. As soon as he thought of this, Ling Feng took a glance at Zhao Donglai and others who were walking quickly with murderous intent not far away, and asked Henyuner with concern, Tell me first, why did this group of people target you? Henyuner looked at Zhao Donglai and the others with a wronged face and said with pity, I was born in an extremely unfortunate family. My mother died early, and my father was a heavy gambler and alcoholic. He would beat me at every turn. A few days ago, I lost a lot of money, so he wanted me to marry someone I didn't like. Moreover, that person was a very notorious young master in Zhongzhou. I finally escaped, but I didn't expect to be caught by these people again. Woo-woo. If you can't protect me, I'm afraid I will be captured by these people and end up with a fate worse than death. Hearing about Henyuna's miserable life story, Ling Feng couldn't help but feel a little sympathy for this pitiful little cutie, and it completely aroused his desire to protect her. I didn't expect that you are also a pitiful person. Okay, from this moment on, I, Ling Feng, will protect you. As long as I, Ling Feng, am here, no one can bully you. As for you wanting to marry me, you have to ask my wife for her opinion. If she is willing, then I can consider taking you in as well. As soon as Ling Feng finished speaking, Zhao Donglai and others came over aggressively. Zhao Donglai stared at Ling Feng dangerously and said, Boy, you dare to get close to Mr. Bei's woman, do you want to die? Ling Feng said calmly, whatever the name of Mr. Bei or not, it has nothing to do with me, but I can tell you clearly that she is my wife, Ling Feng, and I will not tolerate anyone bullying her. If you know what's good for you, get out of here. Otherwise, I don't mind teaching you what it means to be unable to take care of yourself. Your wife. As soon as these words came out, Zhao Donglai and others were almost going crazy. You know, Mr. Bei is engaged to Han Yuner, and most importantly, Mr. Bei's family is a powerful force in Zhongzhou. This country bumpkin who came out of nowhere actually dared to touch Mr. Bei's fiancée. It's simply seeking death. Suddenly, Zhao Donglai's eyes flashed with a very strong murderous intent and said, Boy, I think you are the one who has a road to heaven but you don't take it, and there is no door to hell, but you just break in. Boy, I'll give you one last chance. Get away from Miss Han Yuner. Otherwise, I'll kill you without mercy. I really give you face, don't I? Ling Feng raised his eyebrows, raised his hand and slapped Zhao Donglai on the face. I'll give you two choices. 1. Go back to where you came from. 2. I'll do it myself, and you'll be worse off than dead. How dare you attack me? Zhao Donglai was extremely angry and ordered the people behind him, kill him. Swish swish swish. Suddenly, several people rushed out like sharp swords, heading straight for Ling Feng's vital points. You bastard, be careful. Han Yun's face changed and she quickly reminded him. You bunch of rubbish, you want to hurt me. Ling Feng didn't care at all, and then he kicked them directly, bang. In an instant, several people flew out and hit the railing of the bridge heavily. The railing broke into pieces on the spot, and several people all vomited blood, and their lives were unknown on the spot. You bastard, you're so good at fighting. Han Yun's pretty eyes suddenly lit up, while Ling Feng shook his legs with a calm expression. You're asking for trouble if you force me to do it. Zhao Donglai looked at Ling Feng with a gloomy face, but with a bit of fear. Boy. You have guts. I will remember you. Just wait for the earth-shaking disaster. However, Ling Feng raised his eyebrows. Did I allow you to leave? What do you want to do? Kneel down. Ling Feng raised his foot and kicked Zhao Donglai's legs. With a snap, Zhao Donglai broke out in a cold sweat and his eyes were red with anger. Boy, you are looking for death. Listen to me. Go back and tell that Mr. Bei a message. Yuner is now my Ling Feng's wife, and only I, Ling Feng, can marry her. If he dares to force Yuner to do something she doesn't like, be careful or I will destroy him too. Ling Feng finished speaking in a domineering and cold voice, then he left calmly with Han Yuner. Only Zhao Donglai, whose legs were broken, was left, full of hatred. Boy, you will soon know what kind of behemoth you have provoked. Your whole family will be buried with you because of your arrogance. And at the same time, Zhongzhou of Daxiar. In a certain top-tier consortium, a square-faced man with an extremely dignified, sharp, and superior look was holding his phone, cursing angrily. Damn it. What did you say? I searched for a whole half-day and couldn't find any trace of my daughter. What do you do for a living? Search, keep searching. Even if you have to turn the entire Jiangyang city upside down, you must ensure that my daughter is safe and sound. Otherwise, you can all die. The man who was furious was none other than Han Yun's father, Han Xiaoqian, who was also the chairman of Hengfen Group, a well-known multi-billion-dollar group in Zhongzhou. The reason why he was so angry was, firstly, because Han Yuner and Bei Jingxian were engaged, and secondly, because Han Yuner was born with a very special physique and suffered from an extremely rare freezing disease. If she did not take medicine in time, her life would be in danger. At this moment, Ling Feng had just brought Han Yuner to the room of the Su family villa. Han Yuner immediately fell limply into Ling Feng's arms, shivering all over, cold. I'm so cold. At the same time, she was extremely delicate, which made any man's blood boil. Ling Feng almost couldn't help but push Han Yuner on the spot, but he still forced himself to calm down. If I take advantage of her at this moment, wouldn't I be like a beast? After calming down, Ling Feng only took a quick look and was shocked. What? It's the rare 9-ice mysterious body. Chapter 14. Isn't he this too bad? Cold. So cold. Warm me up. Han Yuner seemed to be so cold that she felt like she was falling into an ice cave, and she subconsciously burrowed into Ling Feng's chest. She even forcibly tore off Ling Feng's clothes and hugged Ling Feng tightly. Feeling that very attractive icy body rubbing against her chest, Ling Feng felt a burst of heat all over his body and almost couldn't bear it anymore. The most important thing is that Han Yuner looks extremely pure, with a face so delicate that one look at her makes you want to push her down and kiss her. Don't do this. If you continue like this, I really can't control myself. Ling Feng's face was full of helplessness. He gritted his teeth and forced himself to stay rational. But seeing that Han Yuner was about to turn into an icy beauty, Ling Feng forced himself to put aside his evil thoughts, then took out a silver needle and pierced it into Han Yuner's Chenyang acupoint, Renjung acupoint, and Sanjung acupoint respectively, and performed the Longyang Qianming acupuncture method with such fast speed and elegant acupuncture technique, which at the same time stimulated the alternating transmission of power in the body. After a while, Han Yuner's body temperature began to rise gradually, and even a trace of hot sweat began to appear on her forehead. Han Yuner also felt an unprecedented warm current sweeping through her body. It was something she had never experienced before. The medicine she had taken before could only provide relief at best, but this time, not only did the warmth flow throughout her body, it even felt like bathing in the sun, extremely comfortable. By the time Han Yuner opened her eyes, Ling Feng was already panting with exhaustion. He looked at Han Yuner and asked with concern, "How do you feel?" Han Yuner was filled with excitement and joy. "Woo woo. I feel a warmth from the sun all over my body, and it's very comfortable. Besides, there's no more freezing pain." "You bastard, thank you for saving me." As she spoke, Han Yuner hugged Ling Feng and gave him a big kiss. "So soft. So sweet. Smells so good." Ling Feng's whole body suddenly felt numb. Han Yuner's little mouth was so tender, like ice cream. One bite was so refreshing. So, Ling Feng couldn't help it, and pressed Han Yuner under his body, and then he pressed his mouth against her domineeringly. However, just as the two were kissing passionately, suddenly, Su Qingya and Lin Ruoxue, who had just returned from the hospital, saw the scene in front of them. Suddenly, both of them were dumbfounded. Su Qingya was so angry that she yelled with gritted teeth, "Ling Feng! What are you doing?" "Shua!" The extremely piercing scream frightened Han Yuner and Ling Feng so much that they were shocked. Then, Ling Feng quickly let go of Han Yuner and said to Su Qingya, whose face was full of coldness, with a stiff face, "Well, wife, if I tell you that I am treating this little beauty, would you believe it?" "I believe in your father." Su Qingya was so angry that her chest was shaking. She went up and gave Ling Feng a roundhouse kick. With a bang, Ling Fei was kicked off the bed. He grimaced in pain. "Wife, there is no need to be so cruel, right?" Han Yuner bit her lip, protected Ling Feng behind her, and shouted to Su Qingya fearlessly, "I don't allow you to bully him. If you dare to be mean to him again, I will fight you to the death." "Huh." After hearing this, Su Qingya and Lin Ruoxue were both in disbelief. It looked like this little beauty had fallen in love with this stinky scoundrel Ling Feng. "Okay. Ling Feng, you and I have just been separated for less than an hour, and you are already flirting with other girls everywhere." Su Qingya immediately shouted at Ling Feng with a face full of anger, "Get out of here. I don't want to see you again." Seeing that Su Qingya was about to go crazy, Ling Feng hurriedly tried to smooth things over. "Wife, don't be angry, I'm not a playboy, but..." Ling Feng explained the whole thing, but Su Qingya was skeptical. "Are you serious? She was really being hunted down and had freezing syndrome, so you brought her home?" Ling Feng raised his finger and said confidently, "I swear, this is all true. Also, I have a small request." "Explain." "I want to keep her in the Su family. After all, she is homeless now. But don't worry, I definitely don't have any unreasonable thoughts. I just want to give her a temporary place to stay." Su Qingya raised her eyebrows, but looked at Lin Ruoxue. "What do you think?" Lin Ruoxue spread her hands and said, "This is your home, so naturally you have the final say." Su Qingya glared at Ling Feng fiercely, and after a moment's silence, she said, "You bastard, I can promise you that I will let her stay, but she can't live in the same room with us, and you can't be alone with her in private without my permission." "No problem." Ling Feng agreed immediately. It was not that he coveted Han Yuner's beauty, but after all, he had slept with her for a night. Now Han Yuner was in trouble. If he just drove her away like that, he would be a cruel person. "What do you think?" Ling Feng looked at Han Yuner, asking for her opinion. Han Yuner pursed her lips and said with a bright smile, "Wherever you are, I will be there." In this way, Han Yuner lived in the Su family as she wished, but she lived in the room next to Su Qingya. "I'm so tired. I'm going to take a shower first." Lin Ruoxue said this at this time, put down her handbag, and walked into the bathroom. Su Qingya looked at Ling Feng with a warning look and said, "You bastard, you are my boyfriend now. If you dare to hit on my best friend and this girl, I will definitely let you know what it means to be as red as a flower. Ling Feng chuckled and said, "Don't worry, my dear. Without your permission, I will never do anything excessive to them. Okay, I still have some things to deal with in the company. You should plan your time for now." After Su Qingya gave instructions, she turned and left. Ling Feng took Han Yuner to the next room. The room was quite big and just enough to hold personal luggage, clothes and the like. "Just treat this place as your home from now on. Don't be afraid if anything happens. I will help you with it," Ling Feng said to Han Yuner in a domineering manner. Han Yuner said with gratitude, "You bastard, you are so nice. I will marry you in this life." "Okay, let's wait until my wife agrees." Ling Feng rubbed his brows helplessly, and then returned to his room to find some quilts and other things for Han Yuner. At this moment, Lin Ruoshua's voice came from the bathroom. "Ling Feng, are you there? Bring me a bath towel." Gurgle. Ling Feng listened to the sound of water coming from the bathroom and looked at the transparent frosted figure. He couldn't help swallowing and said with a stiff face, "This is not good. It's nothing bad. It's just a bath towel. Qingya won't be jealous." Lin Ruoshua didn't care at all. Ling Feng stood there, feeling entangled. Could this girl be setting a trap for me on purpose? Chapter 15. Ling Feng will pay for all the meals tonight. Lin Ruoshua, who was in the bathroom, had a flushed face. She did it on purpose. She wanted to test whether Ling Feng could withstand the temptation. Ling Feng took a deep breath and finally refused. Forget it. After all, men and women should not touch each other. Come on. Lin Ruoshua continued to seduce with a tingling voice. No. I promise my wife that I won't have too close contact with you guys. Ling Feng said righteously. HMPH. Lin Ruoshua was speechless. Damn bastard, is my temptation not as good as my best friend Su Qingya's? You must be faking it. Thinking of this, Lin Ruoshua pushed open the bathroom door and walked out. Ling Feng, who had just walked out and was standing still, almost had a nosebleed. Holy shit! What are you doing? Looking at Lin Ruoshua, who was only wearing a piece of underwear, the ferocious aura in front of her was clearly visible, and Ling Feng quickly closed his eyes. Har har, you rascal, I didn't expect you to be shy sometimes. How is it? Is mice extra big? Lin Ruoshua raised her head with pride and said provocatively, "Aren't you going to treat me? Why don't you come quickly?" Ling Feng gritted his teeth and said, "Don't force me." So what if I force you? Coward. I'm standing right in front of you, but you don't even have the courage to look at me. Are you still a man? Lin Ruoshua took the initiative to approach Ling Feng, full of laughter. You stinky hooligan who has the heart but not the courage to steal. You were the one who insisted on me treating you, so don't accuse me of bullying you later. Ling Feng suddenly opened his eyes and stared at Lin Ruoshua like a vicious wolf. Lin Ruoshua panicked. You bastard, what are you going to do? What do you think? R. Following Lin Ruoshua's scream, something unspeakable happened next. Dozens of minutes later. Woo woo, you filthy rascal, you want to die. You hit me so hard. Lin Ruoshua looked at Ling Feng with disgust and an inexplicable aftertaste. Ling Feng smiled and said, "It feels pretty good. Feel it now. Is the tingling feeling gone? Moreover, your chest feels very comfortable." Lin Ruoshua was subconsciously surprised and delighted and said, "Yes, that's true, you bastard, where did you learn medical skills? How come you are so powerful? When Qingya and I went for a checkup, the doctor said that I had a tumor on my chest. Although it was benign, I had to undergo surgery. What I fear most is having surgery. I thought you were lying to me, but I didn't expect that after your massage, I really didn't feel the tingling sensation at all." Ling Feng smiled slyly and said, "How about it? Do you want to do it again? Get lost." Lin Ruoshua said with a vicious look on her face, "I'm telling you, I'll let you take advantage of me only if you treat me, but Qingya and I are best friends, I absolutely won't allow you to have any relationship with me." Then, he changed the subject and said, "By the way, to thank you for helping me solve the family's troubles, I decided to invite you to the bar for a drink. Do you want to go?" "Go, of course you should go. It would be a waste not to drink. Besides, it's a Beauties wine. It's my honor to drink with a beauty like you, whose breasts are as big as a papaya. Ling Feng smiled wickedly, but his eyes were staring at Lin Ruoshua's big papaya, which was so delicious that it made him linger on the taste. 20 minutes later, Lin Ruoshua brought Ling Feng and Han Yuner to the nearest bar. The bar is not big, but it is very high-end because it entertains important people. Lin Ruoshua had a membership card, so she easily brought Ling Feng and Han Yuner into the bar. However, less than a minute after he walked in and sat down, a sarcastic voice rang out, "Har har, who was it I thought it was? It turns out to be you, the gigolo." Ling Feng raised his head slightly and saw Wei Suonan, who was full of hatred and jealousy, walking over with a few followers. He immediately sneered, "What? Haven't you had enough from the last fight? You?" Ling Feng brought up the topic, which immediately made Wei Suonan full of anger. He gritted his teeth and said, "Wang Badan, you just relied on Chen Beishuan's support last time. If it weren't for Chen Beixian, do you think you can still live until now?" Lin Ruoshua looked at Ling Feng in disbelief and said, "You still know Chen Beixian?" Ling Feng said calmly, "Yes, I know him. He is the son of my younger brother's younger brother." "What?" Lin Ruoshua's eyes widened, thinking that Ling Feng was too boastful. "Who is Chen Beixian?" "He is the son of the #1 real estate tycoon in Jiangyan City." "You're really good at pretending." Wei Suonan sneered, and then said to Lin Ruoshua with a playful look, "Ruoshua, do you want to have a drink with me? I just happened to have stored a few bottles of Hennessy in this bar last time. A glass of Hennessy costs several thousand." As soon as this was said, a group of girls around immediately cast envious and proactive glances at him. However, Lin Ruoshua shook her head and refused. "Forget it, I'm fine here, and what's more, I don't like drinking with people I don't know well." Wei Suonan raised his eyebrows and said sarcastically, "What's the point of drinking with this kind of guy? I'm afraid he can't even afford a glass of whiskey." "Are you sure I can't even afford whiskey?" Ling Feng raised his eyebrows and said with a look of evil interest, "Then why don't we make a bet? If I can buy the 10 most expensive bottles of liquor in this bar, you kneel down, call me grandpa, and get out of here as far as you can. How about that?" Har ha har har. As soon as these words came out, Wei Suonan burst into laughter. "No, with a country bumpkin like you, can you afford the 10 most expensive bottles of wine in this bar? Just tell me whether you dare to gamble or not." Ling Feng said calmly, "Bet. Why not bet? For a country bumpkin like you, it's a miracle that you can take out 2 coins from your pocket. It's a game I'm sure to win, why shouldn't I bet?" Wei Suonan's face was full of ridicule. In terms of martial arts, he might not be as good as Ling Feng, but in terms of financial resources, Ling Feng is probably not even his younger brother. Then, he stared at Ling Feng again and said with a sneer on his face, "But what if you lose?" "If I lose, you can do whatever you want to me." Ling Feng was not afraid at all and looked at Wei Suonan as if he was an idiot. "Ling Feng, are you crazy? Do you know that the most expensive wine in this bar is at least 100,000 a bottle?" Lin Ruoshua was very anxious. With this kind of bet, Ling Feng was undoubtedly hitting a stone with an egg. Moreover, if he ordered drinks but couldn't pay the bill, he would definitely be in trouble. It is said that the owner of this bar is one of the underground kings of Jiangyan City, Poison Wolf. He is at least 2 or 3 times more brutal than Yi Xiaoyun before. If you dare to cause trouble in the bar, someone might get killed. Seeing Lin Ruoshua's frightened expression, Wei Suonan immediately said to Ling Feng with a provocative look, "What? Are you scared? If you are scared, kneel down and call me Wei Suonan grandpa, and I might even reluctantly buy you 2 bottles of Hennessy." However, just as Wei Suonan finished speaking, Ling Feng waved his hand and said to the bar's front desk in a loud and eloquent voice, "Bring me 10 bottles of the most expensive wine in your bar, no, 20 bottles. In addition, everyone's consumption here will be charged to my account, Ling Feng. Tonight, all consumption will be paid by me, Ling Feng." Chapter 16, The Poison Wolf Appears. Swish. As Ling Feng said this, the whole place suddenly fell into deathly silence. Many people even looked at Ling Feng as if he were a fool. What a joke! You have to know that the most expensive bottle of wine in a night bar costs at least 100,000 yuan. 20 bottles, that would be 2 million. Although most of the customers here are celebrities and second-generation rich, there are only a handful of people who spend 2 million at a time. Ling Feng is a country bumpkin, but he ordered 20 bottles at the beginning, and he also had to include the consumption of everyone present. If you calculate it, it might be at least 5 million to 10 million. Ling Feng's behavior of pretending to be rich is definitely courting death. Because everyone knows that the owner of the night bar, Julan, is a notoriously ruthless character. At the same time, he once single-handedly slashed through the blood triangle of Southeast Asia without a scratch. If Ling Feng dares to default on his debt, he will definitely die miserably. Not to mention the others, even Wei Suonan's eyes widened, surprised and happy. Country bumpkin, I can basically confirm that tonight is your death anniversary. Lin Ruoshue's face turned pale. Ling Feng, this is over. If you can't come up with a few million, the poison wolf will definitely not let you go tonight. Ling Feng smiled confidently and said, har har, since I dare to say this, I am definitely not short of money. Don't worry, later, when the cashier comes to ask for the money, just swipe my card. The password is 68. I'm going to the bathroom first. Having said that, Ling Feng casually threw a card to Lin Ruoshue, and then quickly walked towards the toilet of the bar. Is this bastard trying to run away with the bill? Wei Suonan's eyes narrowed immediately, and he sneered at Lin Ruoshue. Ruoshue, you've been badly cheated by this bumpkin this time. If you can't pay the money later, I'll see what you can do. How about this, you just stay with me for a night, and I'll help you with it. That way, maybe you can walk out of this bar safely. Lin Ruoshue's pretty face turned pale and blue. She was really afraid that Ling Feng, this country bumpkin, would abandon her and run away. Han Yuna, however, looked calm, because a mere few million was nothing to her. What no one knows is that her true identity is the little princess of a top chaebol. Let alone millions, even hundreds of millions would be nothing but a drop in the bucket for her. Just when Lin Ruoshue was about to find an excuse to run away, the cashier at the front desk came over with a few burly men and said with a fake smile, "Miss, your friend just ordered wine, and we brought it to you." In addition, he also said that he would pay for the whole place. I calculated that the total is 8.5 million. Could you please settle the bill? Lin Ruoshue's expression suddenly became extremely ugly. There was less than 1 million yuan in her card. How could she pay for 8 million yuan? The only thing he could pray for was Ling Feng's inconspicuous bank card. So, with the mentality of giving it a try, I handed it over. Swipe the card. Puff. Wei Suonan laughed to his utmost. Har har har, Lin Ruoshue, you don't really think that this country bumpkin-esque card can swipe out 8 million, do you? If he can take out 10,000 yuan from his card, I will smash the bottle on the spot. However, as soon as he finished speaking, Wei Suonan's smile froze. Because. Ding. You have successfully spent 8.5 million. The remaining balance is 41.5 million. What? Boom? Upon hearing this balance, everyone present was stunned. Including Wei Suonan. Including Lin Ruoshue. Who could have imagined that Ling Feng, who looked like a country bumpkin, actually had a bank card balance that was even greater than that of the chairman of some of the top companies. On the other side, when Ling Feng was going to the toilet, he met a young man who smelled of alcohol and wore a nameplate. He stepped on his foot and asked him to apologize. Not only did he not apologize, he even threatened him. How could Ling Feng tolerate this? He raised his hand and slapped him in the face, sending him flying. After a while, when Ling Feng returned to the bar, Lin Ruoshue rushed over and grabbed Ling Feng, full of excitement and smirk. Damn. I didn't know that a country bumpkin like you is actually a hidden rich man. How about it? Are you interested in supporting my sister? As he said that, he gave Ling Feng a kiss on the face. Ling Feng touched his cheek and was slightly stunned. Shit, what is this? Are you taking advantage of yourself? Wei Suonan, who was jealous and had an ugly look on his face, stared at Ling Feng with gritted teeth. He never dreamed that he would be slapped in the face by Ling Feng, a country bumpkin, once again. I'm willing to accept the loss. Ling Feng looked at Wei Suonan with a teasing expression and said, "It's your turn to fulfill the bet." Wei Suonan said with a gloomy expression, "Ling Feng, don't go too far. It is definitely impossible for me, Wei Suonan, to call you grandpa. How about this, I will give you 500,000 yuan, and we will just treat it as a joke." Ling Feng raised his eyebrows and said, "Do you want to cheat?" Wei Suonan was desperate and said coldly, "Boy, don't be so arrogant. I tell you. Since you don't want to kneel down, I'll help you." Ling Feng's eyes turned cold, and then he jumped up and kicked out hard. Snap! There was a crisp sound. With a thud, Wei Suonan fell to his knees on the ground, letting out an extremely painful sound. Ling Feng smiled dangerously and said, "It's okay if you don't want to call me grandpa, I'll change the way I punish you." As he spoke, Ling Feng grabbed some garbage left by the guests on the ground and forced it into Wei Suonan's mouth. Wei Suonan's face was immediately filled with shame and humiliation, and he was about to collapse. Ling Feng, I will never coexist with you, a bastard. We are mortal enemies, but what ability do you have to deal with us? Ling Feng smiled playfully and didn't take it to heart at all. And just at this moment, "Boy, you are the one who bullied my brother Hailong." An extremely angry voice rang out, and then a large group of people appeared, each of them was murderous and held a machete. The leader was a man with extremely sharp eyes, extremely cruel, covered with tattoos, and an extremely strong smell of blood. As soon as they saw the man, everyone was shocked and horrified. This is the owner of the night bar, Poison Wolf. Oh my god. This kid actually provoked a poisonous wolf. It's over. He's definitely dead. What's going on? Lin Ruoshue was also shocked, her face full of tears. You bastard, how did you provoke this evil star? However, Ling Feng was not panicked at all. Instead, he sat carefree in the booth, glanced at Julian casually, and said calmly, "You want to stand up for your little brother, right? I can tell you that your little brother was rude to me in the toilet just now, and I didn't bother with him. Since you've come to my house in person, then how about you personally apologize to me for him and drink a bottle of white wine? I'll forgive your brother's reckless behavior." What? As soon as these words came out, everyone almost couldn't breathe. What a joke! After provoking the poison wolf, he actually turned around and threatened the poison wolf. This is simply insane. I think you are really tired of living. The look of the poison wolf was extremely cold. He stared at Ling Feng and spoke word by word in a shocking manner. "Boy, don't say that I, the poison wolf, bully you. Kneel down and crawl under my crotch. Then let your 2 girlfriends accompany me for one night. Otherwise, today, you will die without a burial place." However, Ling Feng pretended not to hear anything. He looked at the poisonous wolf with an indifferent expression, and spoke like a voice from hell. "I will give you the same words. Kneel down and crawl under my crotch. I, Ling Feng, will spare your life." Chapter 17 Han Yunar's terrifying identity. Boom. As Ling Feng's indifferent, yet extremely arrogant voice fell, suddenly, everyone in the bar fell silent. Everyone doubted their hearing and there was a problem. They couldn't imagine that someone would dare to speak so arrogantly in front of the poisonous wolf. Arrogance to the sky. This is definitely looking for hell with a lantern. All the customers looked at Ling Feng in disbelief. Damn. This kid definitely thinks he has 9 lives. Oh my god, this kid probably doesn't know how terrifying the poisonous wolf is. He is simply pretending to be awesome. Wei Suonan looked at Ling Feng with a look of gloating. He originally thought that he had suffered such a great humiliation that he had no chance of revenge at all. Unexpectedly, Ling Feng cleaned his neck directly and put it in front of the poisonous wolf. After giving away heads in this wave, he couldn't help but want to shout 666 to Ling Feng. "You little bastard, in the past 2 years, a total of 99 people have died in my hands. You are very lucky, you will be the 100th one." The entire face of the poisonous wolf was filled with murderous intent. The temperature of the surroundings dropped rapidly because of his murderous intent. Everyone's scalp was tingling to the extreme. They knew very well that the poisonous wolf had real killing intentions. However, Ling Feng's mouth curled up slightly, and the same bloodthirsty taste was pulled to the extreme. "You only killed less than 100 people in 2 years. I have to say, you are rubbish. Because, I once killed no less than 10,000 people in a month, and as for you, you can't even compare to one of their fingers." What? Ling Feng's words immediately stunned everyone. In 1 month, no less than 10,000 people were killed. Does he think he is the god of war in the north? Ha 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 ha, what did I hear? Killed tens of thousands of people. How awesome. Poison Wolf was about to go crazy. He had wanted to scare Ling Feng with his real battle record, but Ling Feng just put his pen up to the sky. Suddenly, his eyes were filled with murderous intent like a prehistoric beast, exploding with a bang. "Take a step forward." Boom. At the same time, he moved extremely fast. In the blink of an eye, he grabbed Ling Feng's shoulder, and then said cruelly, "Go to hell. Pretend to be a pen." As he said this, he exerted force with his palm, just like a mountain pressing down on his head. Ling Feng raised his eyebrows slightly. He was actually a warrior, and at the level of a soldier king. To be honest, for ordinary people, this was already a very remarkable existence. Unfortunately, he met Ling Feng, who was worthless. When Poison Wolf saw that Ling Feng was still smiling under such circumstances, he became extremely angry. "You bastard, I'm going to break your neck." But just as he was about to kill, Ling Feng turned his arm slightly, and there was a crack. Suddenly, the poisonous wolf's arm broke apart. Not only that, his whole body flew out violently. He smashed the table hard, dozens of tables in a row were broken into pieces, and he vomited blood on the spot. There was even a huge human-shaped pit on the ground. What? Everyone was stunned. Lin Ruoxue and Han Yuner were both stunned. This bastard actually killed the poisonous wolf in an instant? The seriously injured poison wolf was horrified and said, "Who are you? How can you have such a strong fighting power?" Ling Feng said nothing, but walked straight towards him. Julang immediately felt something was wrong, and broke out in a cold sweat. "Brother, let's talk it over. Talk about your sister." Ling Feng took a step forward, raised his hand and slapped Poison Wolf hard on the face. Bang! "You're given a chance, but it's useless." Bang! "You have to come to me to seek death." Bang! "You can't take my attack, and you just beg for mercy." Bang! "Tell me, do you accept me, Ling Feng?" Hand after hand, the Poison Wolf's mouth was full of blood. He looked extremely embarrassed and miserable. Poison Wolf was in so much pain and humiliation, but he could only grit his teeth and say, "I surrender. I surrender. I'm sorry, it's my fault, I apologize." "Since you've surrendered, then go and die. After all, you're a nuisance living in this world." Ling Feng's eyes were full of danger. He then grabbed the poisonous wolf's neck and squeezed it. Crack! A crisp breaking sound was heard. The poisonous wolf's eyes suddenly widened. Die! A murder! The poisonous wolf is dead. Such a scene immediately frightened everyone around. I never thought that Ling Feng would be so brave. However, Ling Feng just clapped his hands casually, looked around in an extremely calm tone, and a smile without any fluctuations on the corner of his mouth. Har har. "Isn't it just killing a dog? Why are you so scared?" Everyone. To them, Ling Feng was a madman at this moment, a complete madman. He killed a poisonous wolf, but he was not afraid and said he just killed a dog. How much confidence, courage, and self-confidence does this require? Lin Ruoxue's face turned pale. "Ling Feng, you've caused a big disaster." Ling Feng, however, looked calm. "Big disaster? How big of a disaster can it be?" Han Yunus' eyes are full of brilliance. She just felt that Ling Feng was this bastard, too domineering. He killed people without any hesitation, which was exactly what she wanted. "Boy, you dare to kill someone in my bar. Do you know what kind of disaster you will face next?" At this moment, a voice that was extremely charming, enchanting, yet extremely sharp and murderous rang out. Then, a woman with an indescribably powerful aura appeared, surrounded by hundreds of terrifying figures. Seeing the woman, the guests present were so frightened that their scalps went numb. What? The most terrifying female tyrant in Jianggyang City's underground world, Du Junyang. Everyone was almost scared to death. Who was Du Junyang? She was someone that even the city lord had to give some respect to. The most important thing is that almost all the people in Jianggyang City have to be respectful to Du Junyang. Bow down and submit to her. Is Du Junyang standing behind the poison wolf? It's over, the sky has really been pierced now. Lin Ruoxue looked at the woman who was extremely beautiful but had extremely fierce eyes, and suddenly felt a chill on her back. However, Ling Feng just glanced at Du Junyang casually, without any fear at all, and said indifferently, "It seems that you want to stand up for a dead person, right? Have you ever thought that you might be the next person to die?" Hiss. As Ling Feng said this, everyone was about to have a cerebral hemorrhage. It was extremely horrifying. Facing Du Junyang, Ling Feng dared to be so arrogant. Wasn't he afraid of the death of his entire family? Du Junyang also looked at Ling Feng deeply, with disbelief and surprise. She was really curious about what confidence this plain-looking boy had to support him to be so lawless in front of her. "Young man, you are very good." Du Junyang spoke word by word, her eyes were extremely cold and piercing. "Tell me, who are you hanging out with? If the person you named can suppress me, Du Junyang, I will give you face and let you walk out of the bar safely. But if you can't suppress me, Du Junyang, then wait for your death, and your body will be torn into pieces, and your friends will be buried with you. Ling Feng, however, lit a cigarette and said calmly, no need to ask. I, Ling Feng, don't have any background, and I don't need any. If you want to do it, just come directly. But you'd better pray that you can kill me, Ling Feng, in one go. Because, if you can't kill me, Ling Feng, that will be the beginning of your nightmare. You are looking for death. Du Junyang was immediately furious. After so many years in the martial arts world, Ling Feng was the first one who was so arrogant and didn't give her any face at all. What's more, Ling Feng said that he didn't have any background. Just this point was enough for Ling Feng to die 10,000 times. However, just as Du Junyang was about to give an order to tear Ling Feng into pieces, Han Yuner, who was extremely inconspicuous, extremely low-key, and silent, inexplicably spoke at this moment. Du Junyang, right. He is my boyfriend, I hope you can give me some face and stop here. Swish. As soon as these words came out, everyone looked at Han Yuner in disbelief. Is this woman crazy? Even the mayor doesn't dare to provoke Du Junyang. She actually dared to stand up and plead for Ling Feng. She probably wanted to report to hell with Ling Feng. Ling Feng didn't expect that Han Yuner was so courageous that she would stand up and support him in such a situation. Yuna, I will handle men's affairs myself, so don't worry about it, Ling Feng said lightly. His eyes became cold, and he was ready to start a killing spree. However, at this moment, when Du Junyang looked at Han Yuner, she was extremely angry at first, but then, her pupils were extremely fearful. Infinite fear. Infinite fear. Then, in full view of everyone, she fell to her knees in front of Han Yuner with a plop. She was sweating coldly. She shouted very humbly, I'm sorry. I didn't expect that this gentleman is actually Miss Han's friend. It's really a flood that has washed away the Dragon King Temple. I hope Miss Han can be magnanimous and forgive my reckless behavior just now. What? Everyone's eyes almost popped out when these words came out. What a joke. Han Yunus' words made Du Junyang, who was so good at writing, kneel down and even beg for mercy. This. How big of an identity does this require? How big of a background? Even Ling Feng looked at Han Yuner with a new eye, and said, this girl, it seems, is not as simple as I thought. Maybe there is a god standing behind her. Chapter 18. How about something bigger? Wei Suonan, who was not far away, was so jealous that his eyes were about to bleed. Damn it! How could Ling Feng, a bastard, have such a stunning girlfriend to support him? The most important thing is that this girlfriend seems to have a very unusual identity. Oh my god, you are so unfair. I, Wei Suonan, have a good family background and good looks. I have the ability. Why am I not as good as Ling Feng, a country bumpkin? Puff. Thinking of this, Wei Suonan became even more furious and spat out a mouthful of blood. His hatred towards Ling Feng has reached its peak. Han Yuner said calmly, since Du Junyang knows that she is wrong, then kneel down and kowtow to my boyfriend. Swish. When these words were spoken, everyone in the audience was shocked and horrified. It was already the greatest bottom line for Du Junyang to apologize to Han Yuner. And Ling Feng is at best just a bumpkin who can fight a little bit. Will Du Junyang bow down to him? Du Junyang's expression was also extremely humiliated. A country bumpkin like Ling Feng was certainly not worthy of her bowing down to him. But thinking of Han Yunus' terrifying background, Du Junyang still gritted her teeth and knelt down in the direction of Ling Feng to apologize. I'm sorry, Ling Xiao. Ling Feng looked down at him, but he was not arrogant at all. He just smiled playfully and said, remember next time, be more cautious before you provoke others. Today, I will spare your life for the sake of my girlfriend. You. When Du Junyang heard Ling Feng's words, she wanted to kill him immediately. However, because of Han Yuner, she still smiled and said, yes. Young Master Ling taught me a lesson. I will remember it. After Ling Feng, Han Yuner, and Lin Ruoshua left the bar, Lin Ruoshua looked at Han Yuner and was immediately filled with curiosity. Yuner, who are you? How could you scare Du Junyang to her knees? Han Yuner said casually, sister, I don't have any background. I'm just a homeless little girl who was forced to run away from home. What a ghost. Lin Ruoshua curled her lips, with a look of disbelief. You must be the eldest daughter of a chaebol group. Then, looking at Ling Feng, he said with envy, you bastard, you are really good. You even seduced the daughter of a wealthy family. Ling Feng spread his hands and said helplessly, she insisted on following me, what can I do? Shameless. Lin Ruoshua looked at Ling Feng's expression that looked like he deserved a beating, and she wanted to punch him hard. Half an hour later, Ling Feng, Lin Ruoshua, Han Yuner and others returned to the Su family villa. At this moment, Su Qingya had already fallen asleep, perhaps because she was too tired, so Ling Feng didn't want to disturb her. I took a shower, changed into pajamas, and then grabbed the quilt tightly. The next morning, when Su Qingya woke up, she found that there was something pressing on her chest. She opened her eyes subconsciously and screamed, "Ar! You bastard, what did you do to me last night?" Ling Feng's eardrums were almost broken, but he looked innocent. "Wife, why are you yelling at me? Aren't we boyfriend and girlfriend? It's normal to sleep together, right? Get out. You filthy rascal. I haven't completely accepted you from the bottom of my heart yet. Who allowed you to touch me and sleep with me?" Su Qingya's face was full of frost, and she kicked Ling Feng off the bed. 10 minutes later, after Ling Feng and Su Qingya finished washing up, they went to have breakfast together, and brought Han Yuner and Lin Ruoshua with them. During breakfast, Han Yuner kept picking up food for Ling Feng, as if she was afraid that he was not full, which made Su Qingya very jealous. He secretly made up his mind that he must find a way to drive Han Yuner away from Ling Feng. After breakfast, Zhao Linfei and Su Dongshan approached Su Qingya and said with a fake smile, "By the way, Qingya, isn't there a bidding meeting today? We decided to let this bumpkin go with us to broaden his horizons." Su Qingya said with an embarrassed look, "It's not good, Mom and Dad. Ling Feng is not a businessman. If he says something wrong or gets into trouble, it will be disadvantageous to us." Zhao Linfei snorted coldly and said, "We can't let him eat for free at the Su family forever, right? He has to get some exercise." "Yes." Su Dongshan also said with a firm face, "This country bumpkin is your husband now after all. If he doesn't go out and hone himself, how can he carry the banner of our Su family in the future?" "Okay then." Su Qingya had no choice but to agree, but before leaving, she warned Ling Feng, "When you get there, don't say anything you shouldn't say, so as not to offend some big guys, understand?" Ling Feng stretched lazily and said calmly, "Isn't it just a bidding reception? Why are you so serious? If you want the Su family to win the bid, I can help you with just one phone call. Just brag. This time, it's hosted by the Comet Group, the top financial group in the provincial capital. Those who can be invited are all powerful people from the upper class of Jiangyang City. Do you think this kind of bidding is just playing house?" Su Qingya rolled her eyes at Ling Feng and said in a serious tone, "Anyway, remember, when you get there, talk less. Even if you eat more, it's okay. If you provoke a big shot, I'll show you how I'll deal with you." The car moved forward. Soon they arrived at a mountain villa. Red Leaf Villa. Jiangyang City, a very famous and high-standard villa. Anyone who can enter here, apart from an invitation, is someone from the top circle. This bidding reception was initiated by the co of the Comet Group. The purpose was to select the only company that was qualified to cooperate with the Comet Group from dozens of companies. The CEO of Comet Financial Group is an extraordinary woman. Not only did she start from scratch, but she was also extremely beautiful and decisive. She single-handedly carried the entire Comet Financial Group. When Su Qingya brought Ling Feng, Zhao Linfei, Su Dongshan and others in, they found that the villa was already crowded with people. Moreover, they were all dressed in suits, especially the group of young boys. Each of them had sharp eyebrows and bright eyes, and was very handsome. Their every move and gesture gave off the air of a nobleman. Zhao Linfei and Su Dongshan were fascinated by what they saw, and they secretly thought in their hearts, if their daughter is going to marry, she will at least marry these people. Definitely not a bumpkin like Ling Feng. A bumpkin like Ling Feng is definitely not even worthy of carrying shoes for these people. With this in mind, Zhao Linfei and Su Dongshan took Su Qingya and Ling Feng over to greet them. Their purpose was to make Ling Feng realize the gap between him and these people. Soon, a group of people started talking, and Zhao Linfei took the initiative to ask those young masters about their family backgrounds. Those young masters, Zhu Fei, Zhao Kai, Wu Yilong and others, did not hide their family backgrounds at all. Zhu Fei was the first to speak. "Har har, I'm just an average person. My family's business is worth about 300 million yuan, and I just graduated from Boren University with a master's degree." Zhao Kai, Wu Yilong and others also spoke up one after another. I am currently only 20 million young. I am now the general manager of a technology company. Look. They are all outstanding talents. Zhao Linfei and Su Dongshan were envious and deliberately mocked Ling Feng, unlike my son-in-law, who has accomplished nothing and is still an unemployed vagrant. Unemployed vagrant. Zhu Fei, Zhao Kai, Wu Yilong and others sneered. Miss Su, being with such a person is simply a waste of talent. That's right. I don't know either. Is my daughter blind? Why would she fall for such a country bumpkin? Zhao Linfei attacked Ling Feng without any appreciation. Su Qingye finally realized that her parents, seemingly with good intentions, brought Ling Feng here to see the world, but in fact, they did it to cleanse, attack, and humiliate Ling Feng. Suddenly, Su Qingye wanted to pull Ling Feng away, but Zhu Fei suddenly said, "Since you are here, let's play together. It happens that we have nothing to do now, why don't we compete in archery?" Su Qingye could see that Zhu Fei and the others wanted to take this opportunity to show off their skills and humiliate Ling Feng at the same time, so she immediately said, "I'm sorry, I'm not very interested in shooting." Zhu Fei pointed his fur at Ling Feng and said with a half smile, "Then brother Ling Feng must be interested, right? Don't tell us that a grown man can't even shoot an arrow, that's really incompetent." However, Ling Feng smiled playfully and said, "You want to compete with me in archery? Okay, but I guess your archery skills are not much better. How about this, I will fight against 3 of you. As long as I score 1 less than your total, I will lose. In addition, since it is a competition, it would be meaningless without bets. Let's play something big. I will use the Su family's assets as the stakes. If I lose, the Su family's assets will belong to you, but if you lose, each of you will pay 500 million. How about that?" Chapter 19, a brilliant operation that shocked the whole audience. Puff. After hearing this, Zhao Linfei and Su Dongshan almost vomited blood. This little bastard actually used the Su family's assets as a bet. He was simply trying to destroy the Su family. You bastard, are you crazy? Su Qingye widened her eyes. If Ling Feng lost, her grandfather would probably have a heart attack from anger. Ling Feng said calmly, "Wife, believe me, I will definitely not lose. If I lose, you can twist my head off and kick it like a ball." Har har har, awesome, awesome. Zhu Fei, Zhao Kai and Wu Yilong looked at Ling Feng with mockery on their faces and they all wanted to give him a thumbs up. They were really curious about where this country bumpkin got the courage to risk his life with the 3 of them. Among the 3 of them, Zhu Fei is the champion of the provincial capital's annual shooting competition. Isn't Ling Feng just giving them money? Boy, you are very brave, but your words don't count. Miss Su must make the promise herself on this matter. Zhu Fei, Zhao Kai, and Wu Yilong all looked at Su Qingye, waiting for her decision. Zhao Linfei and Su Dongshan said to Ling Feng with gloomy faces, "Ling Feng, you country bumpkin, what qualifications do you have to speak on behalf of our Su family?" Then, he said to Zhu Fei, Zhao Kai, and Wu Yilong with an apologetic smile, "3 gentlemen, our son-in-law has a mental problem. We take back what we just said." Zhu Fei, Zhao Kai, and Wu Yilong sneered and taunted Su Qingye mercilessly. "Har har, it's fine that you brought a bragging kid here to embarrass yourself, but you dare to speak so arrogantly in front of us. It seems that you, Su Qingye, are not much better. Maybe you are just a piece of scum that has been ridden by countless people. You guys." Su Qingye couldn't stand such a huge humiliation, and immediately said, "Okay, I agree to your bet." Then, he looked at Ling Feng and said with gritted teeth, "You bastard, I've put everything on you. If you lose later, you'll be kicked out of the Su family with me." Par. However, Ling Feng raised his eyebrows, and slapped Zhu Fei, Zhao Kai, and Wu Yilong hard on the face. "Watch your mouth. You can insult Ling Feng, but to insult my wife, you are courting death. Boy, I think you are the one who is looking for death." Wu Yilong was immediately furious, but Zhu Fei pulled him back, looked at Ling Feng coldly, and said with a sinister smile, "Boy, you are arrogant enough, but I will see that after you lose the Su family's assets, will you kneel in front of us like a dead dog and beg us to spare your life and let you and the Su family live?" Soon, the 2 parties signed a gambling contract. A group of people came to the entertainment venue of Hongye Villa. There are dozens of targets in the huge and luxurious shooting range, and the distance between them is about 300 meters. It can be said that it is extremely challenging to hit the target in this situation. Not to mention the 8 rings and the 10 rings. Soon, Zhu Fei, Zhao Kai, and Wu Yilong stood on the shooting range, each holding a bow and arrow, with a very agile and handsome posture. Suddenly, many women around screamed and shouted, but the three looked at Ling Feng and sneered, "Country bumpkin, who should go first, you or us?" Ling Feng was not panicked at all. He put his hands behind his back and said calmly, "It doesn't matter who comes first. Anyway, the three of you combined can't even touch my neck." How arrogant! Zhu Fei, Zhao Kai, and Wu Yilong immediately looked at Ling Feng with hatred. Then, Wu Yilong took a step forward and shouted majestically, "Let me show you my skills first. Let this country bumpkin see how big the gap is between him and us." As he spoke, Wu Yilong raised the bow and arrow high up, his eyes were fierce, and he pulled the bowstring fiercely and shot it out like a combination of man and arrow. Buzz! With the arrowhead, it broke through the air and flew out in an instant. In the blink of an eye, it arrived at the target. With just a light shot, it hit the seventh ring in an instant. Good! Such a scene immediately attracted a lot of cheers from the crowd. Next, it was Zhao Kai. He gently pulled the bowstring and shot an arrow seemingly at random, but it actually hit the eighth ring directly. Compared to Wu Yilong's skills, it is even more advanced. When it was Zhu Fei's turn, he took a step forward and pulled the bowstring with one hand. Then, an arrow flew out into the air. The whistling sound was even like tinnitus, and with a loud bang, the target was almost cracked. Everyone looked up and was instantly shocked. What? 10 rings. Fuck. This is 300 meters. 10 rings easily. Mr. Zhu is so handsome. Zhu Fei heard the jaw-dropping compliments and cheers from the people around him, looked at Ling Feng, and sneered, "Now it's your turn, bumpkin. Do you want to admit defeat directly, or kneel down and beg for mercy?" Kneel down and beg for mercy. Yes, Mr. Zhu even hit 10 rings. This kid, no matter how amazing he is, can he still hit 10 rings? The people around were all mocking and gloating. Zhao Linfei and Su Dongshan were so angry that they felt so ashamed. They wanted to let Ling Feng see the gap between themselves and these young masters, but they didn't know that this country bumpkin overestimated his own abilities and gambled with others' family property. Now, not only did they embarrass themselves, but the entire Su family might be ruined. Zhu Fei, on the other hand, looked at Ling Feng with sarcasm and said with a sinister smile, "Why are you so anxious? Our master who came from the countryside has not yet shown his skills. Maybe he can rely on his great efforts in catching mice in the mountains to complete a comeback." Ling Feng was too lazy to pay attention to Zhu Fei's sarcasm. He took a few steps forward, then picked up a bow and arrow at random and pulled it hard. In an instant, the bow and arrow made an extremely sharp sound of strong wind. Su Qingya was suddenly shocked, thinking that her country bumpkin husband might actually be quite capable. But, this thought just arose. Snap! Suddenly, the entire bowstring broke, and the whole audience burst into laughter. Fuck! This kid actually broke the bow and arrow. What a talent! Now that he has no bow and arrows, how can he defeat Master Zhu and the others? Ling Feng, I'm so disappointed in you. Su Qingya was so angry that she stomped her feet. She could never have imagined that Ling Feng's performance while operating the tiger was no different from that of an idiot. Don't worry, wife. I can still beat them even if I don't have a bow and arrow. Ling Feng was extremely calm. Then, in full view of everyone, he picked up several arrows that had fallen on the ground and aimed at the target 300 meters away. This operation immediately made everyone in the audience laugh so hard that tears almost fell from their eyes. Damn! This country bumpkin, is he trying to hit the target with his bare hands? Who does he think he is? Xiang Yu? Born with supernatural powers. You're stupid. If this works, I'll stand on my head and be popular. Zhu Fei, Zhao Kai, Wu Yilong and others were also very happy. They thought Ling Feng was so confident and had some amazing archery skills, but now it seems that he is just a fool. However, the three of them were full of ridicule, sneer, and arrogance just now. Call out. Suddenly, Ling Feng raised his hand fiercely, and then, as if wielding a sharp sword, he shot 3 arrows out horizontally. Buzz. The next moment, an extremely incredible scene appeared. The 3 arrows, without any tools to help them, actually broke through the air like crazy and pierced through the target in the blink of an eye. Moreover, all 3 arrows hit the 10 rings. Suddenly, their whole place was in deathly silence. Every single one of them was shocked to the extreme. And Su Qingya was extremely ecstatic. I won. Bumpkin. You really created a miracle. You are so awesome. You are simply my god. Chapter 20. What's wrong with touching you? Damn, this country bumpkin is actually so powerful? Zhao Linfei rubbed her eyes frantically, she couldn't believe the scene before her. Su Dongshan was also slightly shocked, but he quickly sneered and said, this bumpkin just got lucky. He used his brute force and hit it by accident. Su Qingya said proudly, Dad, no matter how you slander Ling Feng, it can't change the fact that Ling Feng won. Ling Feng looked at Zhu Fei, Zhao Kai, and Wu Yilong, whose faces were dull and red, and said calmly, what are you looking at? Give me money. Zhu Fei, Zhao Kai, and Wu Yilong finally came to their senses, but their expressions were filled with extreme humiliation. No matter how hard they tried, they could not imagine that a young man from the upper-class circle of Jiangyang City would be stepped on and rubbed hard by Ling Feng, a country bumpkin. Seeing the three people gritting their teeth, extremely unwilling, Ling Feng couldn't help but raise his eyebrows. Why? Can't come up with the money? Then you can use other methods to pay off the debt. Zhu Fei, Zhao Kai, and Wu Yilong subconsciously asked, what method? Ling Feng raised his lips and said in a very teasing arc, swallow the 3 arrows I shot, kneel down and sing a song of conquer, and I will forgive your 500 million. How about it? Zhu Fei, Zhao Kai, and Wu Yilong were all furious. Boy, don't go too far. Ling Feng curled his lips and said, too much bullying? Weren't you quite showing off just now? If I lost, I'm afraid you would be eager to humiliate me as well, right? Or are you saying that the three of you, the young masters of Jiangyang City's upper-class circles, can't even come up with 500 million? TSK. Even if that's the case, you're still worthy of being called young master. I think you should just call me garbage brother. You. Hearing Ling Feng's ridicule, Zhu Fei, Zhao Kai, and Wu Yilong wanted to slap Ling Feng to death, but with so many people watching, they couldn't play dirty tricks. Just when the three of them were in a dilemma. Suddenly. What's going on? A very cold voice sounded, and a young woman wearing blue tight jeans, with a hot body but with an arrogant and conceited look, walked quickly towards them. In addition, behind the young girl, there was a handsome young man with protruding temples and very sharp eyes. As soon as he saw the young girl, Zhu Fei's face suddenly lit up. Sister. Then he told the whole story again. After hearing this, the young girl Zhu Jiaojiao snorted coldly and said with contempt, it's just a game between children. It doesn't matter. Follow me. The most important thing now is to get the cooperation with the Comet Financial Group. Su Qingya immediately disagreed, bit her lip, and said to Zhu Jiaojiao, Miss, your brother lost the game. According to the bet, he and the other two people must pay my husband 500 million, otherwise, he cannot leave. Are you threatening me? Zhu Jiaojiao's face suddenly turned cold, and she looked at Su Qingya dangerously and said, Bitch, do you know who I am? Have you heard of the Zhu family, a wealthy family in Jiangyang City? I am Zhu Jiaojiao, the eldest daughter of the Zhu family. A piece of shit like you is worthy of asking for money from my brother Zhu Jiaojiao. What? Su Qingya's expression suddenly changed. She didn't expect the other party to be so powerful. She had to bow her head and said, I'm sorry, Miss Zhu. I offended you. We don't want the money. You can take your brother and leave. It's not that Su Qingya is timid, it's mainly because the powerful Zhu family has a huge influence in Jiangyang City, and ordinary people can't afford to provoke them. Even if Zhu Fei gave this money, he would probably be targeted and killed by the powerful Zhu family. Ling Feng looked at Su Qingya, who was being humble, and his eyes narrowed suddenly, with a cold light flashing. It's okay to bully yourself, but it's not okay to bully your wife. Ling Feng immediately stepped forward, looked directly at Zhu Jiaojiao, and said coldly, Did I allow you to leave? Originally, your brother and the other two idiots gathered 500 million, and the matter would end here. Now, not only do I want your brother and the others to come up with 500 million, you must also apologize to my wife, otherwise, you will not be able to leave here safely today. Zhu Jiaojiao couldn't help but raise her pretty eyes and looked at Ling Feng dangerously. Boy, how dare you talk to me like that? You are dressed like a beggar, yet you dare to challenge me, Zhu Jiaojiao. I am really curious, who gave you such courage? The people around him were also pointing fingers at Ling Feng, their faces full of laughter. This guy must have gone too far. He even dared to provoke someone like Zhu Jiaojiao. You're really looking for death. Ling Feng's eyes became more intense. Are you going to apologize? Zhu Jiajie burst into laughter, her face full of contempt and arrogance. So what if I don't apologize? Why don't you take a mirror to look at yourself? How could such a high-level cocktail party have a disgusting fly like you? Maybe you slipped in. You country bumpkin, don't say that I looked down on you. I'm standing right here. If you dare to touch me, I'll treat you as a man. Come on. I'll give you a chance to be brave. But, their words had just fallen. Bang! Ling Feng went up and slapped Zhu Jiajiao hard on the face. The slap was not very powerful, but it twisted Zhu Jiajiao's plastic surgery face so much that she almost had a nosebleed. Their whole place suddenly fell into deathly silence. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Ling Feng, this country bumpkin, actually dared to hit Zhu Jiajiao, the eldest daughter of a wealthy family. Su Qingyao was also terrified, her body trembling. She didn't dare to think at all. Ling Feng said to hit her and she hit him. But I don't know why, but I felt inexplicably relieved. At the same time, it was also clear that Zhu Jiajiao's identity was extraordinary. Just based on Ling Feng's slap, the Su family would be in great trouble. Ling Feng didn't care about the eyes of the people around him at all, and said calmly, "There are so many people who ask me to do things for them, but it's the first time that you beg me to slap you like this. How about it, is it good enough? Or, give me another slap." Mad. The madness that defies the heavens. You are looking for death. Zhu Jiajia was also extremely angry. As the jewel in the crown of the wealthy Zhu family, this was the first time that she was humiliated and provoked by a bumpkin. If she didn't kill Ling Feng, how could she, Zhu Jiajia, continue to mix in the upper-class circle in the future? You bastard, even my parents don't dare to be mean to me on weekdays, and you actually touched me. I, Zhu Jiajia, swear that I will make your reputation ruined and your life worse than death, and everyone around you will go to hell. Never be reincarnated. Chapter 21, Kill with One Punch, Life is Worse Than Death. Seeing Zhu Jiajia's ferocious face, Su Dongshan and Zhao Linfei knew that the matter had completely blown up. They immediately stepped forward to apologize. "Miss Zhu, I'm sorry, our son-in-law has some mental problems. You are a magnanimous person. If you want to settle the score, just go to him. This matter has nothing to do with us. Get lost." Zhu Jiajia pushed the two men away fiercely, and said with a cruel and cold face, "I said I would kill his whole family, and I will kill his whole family. Including you, no one will be left alive." "Oh, are you so awesome?" Ling Feng raised his eyes, and his whole temperament became sharp. "It seems that you are still not sober enough. Then kneel down and talk first. Speaking of, just take a step forward." Bang! He kicked Zhu Jiajia's leg hard, and she fell to her knees on the ground with a thud, screaming like a pig being slaughtered. Ling Feng slapped Zhu Jiajia hard on the face again, not giving her any face at all. "Didn't you just say that you wanted to kill my whole family? Come on, let me Ling Feng see how you can kill my entire family." Everyone was shocked by this scene. They had seen crazy people before, but this was definitely the first time they had seen someone as crazy as Ling Feng. It's over. Today, Zhu Jiajia is definitely going to fight to the death. Su Qingya's face was numb and she didn't know what to say. She could never have imagined that Ling Feng didn't mind making trouble at all. Zhu Jiajia was also a threat, and Ling Feng became more ruthless. Zhao Kai, Wu Yilong and the others all looked horrified. This fellow is about to die, yet he is still so arrogant. I can't even imagine how miserable his death will be next. Zhu Jiajia, with blood all over her mouth, was extremely resentful and furious as she screamed at the handsome young man not far away. "Xiong Wu, are you blind? I have been bullied like this, and you still don't do anything. Kill him for me." After he finished speaking, Xiong Wu's eyes became extremely gloomy. It's not that he didn't care about Zhu Jiajia, but mainly because he could never have imagined that Ling Feng would be so arrogant. Even though Zhu Jiajia exposed her family background, Ling Feng still dared to harm his girlfriend. But because of this, Xiong Wu's murderous intent was completely aroused. He slowly stood up and looked at Ling Feng as if he was looking at a dead man, with an extremely expressionless face. "Bastard, don't say that I, Xiong Wu, bully you. I, Xiong Wu, am the young master of Jiangyang Barji sect. My iron fists are invincible and I have killed countless masters. Trash like you are far from worthy of me, Xiong Wu, to personally attack you. I'll give you 3 moves. After 3 moves, I will twist your head off alive." What? The young master of Barji sect? When Xiongwu revealed his background, everyone present gasped in shock. What kind of existence is Bejiman? That is one of the most ferocious, brave and aggressive martial arts schools in Jiangyang City. At the same time, the leader of Barji sect, Zheng, swept through dozens of martial arts halls in Jiangbei alone and killed hundreds of people. As Xiongwu was the young master of Barji sect, they couldn't imagine how terrifying Xiongwu's strength was. Su Qingya's body was also shaking violently, because she had also heard about Barji sect. Everyone in the sect was extremely vicious. It was even rumored that some people in Barji sect lived on human blood. Extremely cruel. As the young master, Xiongwu is probably not in a good condition either. If a fight breaks out, Ling Feng might not even have a complete corpse left. As soon as Su Qingya thought of this, she desperately wanted to plead for Ling Feng, but Ling Feng looked at Xiongwu, who had a murderous, ferocious, and extremely cold face, as if he was looking at an ant jumping up and down, and scratched his ears. Another idiot who is looking for death, right? You're still asking me to take 3 more moves. A loser like you, I'm afraid you can't even take 1 finger from me. Who gave you the courage? Wang Badan, I want you to be torn into pieces. Xiongwu was suddenly furious, his fists creaking as he clenched them, and he thrust his fists out fiercely. The muscles on his arms were clenched crazily, burning, boiling, and full of murderous intent, just like the roar of a tiger. From the looks of it, this one punch would probably be enough to smash Ling Feng into pieces. Hide! Su Qingya's heart suddenly rose to her throat and she shouted to Ling Feng anxiously. However, Ling Feng seemed not to have heard Su Qingya's anxiety at all, and still stood there calmly. Until that moment, Xiongwu's punch, which could kill gods and Buddhas, was about to arrive. Ling Feng then raised his hand slightly, and with lightning speed, he shot out a silver needle. At the same time, he shouted in an extremely domineering voice, "Kneel down." Thump! Suddenly, under the extremely shocked eyes of everyone, a punch carrying minions of brutality stopped abruptly in front of Ling Feng's forehead. Then, Xiongwu's eyes were like a demon, and with a plop, he knelt in front of Ling Feng. What? Seeing this scene, everyone was dumbfounded. Zhu Fei, Zhao Kai, Wu Yilong and others opened their mouths wide, as if they had seen a ghost. Zhu Jiaojiao, whose face was filled with resentment, was also dumbfounded. How could Xiongwu, the young master of Barji sect, kneel down to a country bumpkin like Ling Feng? How is this possible? It's the pinnacle of 3 views. Suddenly, Zhu Jiaojiao was about to explode with anger, and was furious. Xiongwu, are you out of your mind? Why are you kneeling down like this damn bastard? Get up! Get up! Xiongwu, however, had a confused and dazed look on his face, like a puppet, letting Ling Feng manipulate him. Slap yourself in the face. Par. Xiongwu slapped himself several times without hesitation. Oh my god! Everyone was terrified. This scene was so weird. Ling Feng raised his lips in an extremely playful arc and looked at Zhu Jiaojiao. Aren't you going to kill me? I'm just standing there, go ahead. Kill me. Die. Xiongwu suddenly rushed out like a possessed man, punching Zhu Jiaojiao who was not far away. Snap. Suddenly, Zhu Jiaojiao's shoulder broke on the spot, and she screamed like the sky, Tai Kular. Ling Feng applauded and pointed at Zhu Jiaojiao, commanding with a face full of evil humor, but she seems very unconvinced. Slap her a few more times. Par. Xiongwu was very obedient and slapped Zhu Jiaojiao several times, making her completely disoriented and covered in blood. She almost broke her nose. Zhu Jiaojiao was in so much pain that she wished she was dying. She had never thought in her life that she would be hung up and beaten by her own boyfriend. At this time, Xiongwu finally came back to his senses, looking at Zhu Jiaojiao with a look of surprise and self-blame. Damn, what did I just do? What did you do? Zhu Jiaojiao was extremely resentful and devastated. Not only did you break my shoulder bone, you even slapped me 7 or 8 times. Fuck. After these words came out, no matter how dumb Xiongwu was, he knew that he was played by Ling Feng. He immediately wanted to kill all 9 clans of Ling Feng. His eyes were red with anger. You bastard. Take my punch head on if you have the guts. What kind of man is this to play tricks? 9 heaven suppressing fist. As he spoke, Xiongwu gathered his strength, and the power burst out like clouds. The overbearing and wanton power flew out, shocking everyone to the point of vomiting blood. All the air was crushed to the extreme. If Ling Feng dared to take it, he would definitely be smashed to pieces. Everyone felt that Ling Feng would definitely resort to conspiracy and trickery once again, otherwise, he would surely die. Ling Feng seemed to have had enough fun, and then, he smiled dangerously. Are you so eager for me to take your punch? Good. I'll satisfy you. Speaking of. In full view of the public. Boom. He raised his fist and punched out. Looks very light and casual. However. Bang. As soon as the fists of the two men touched each other, there was a deafening sound, and the sound of the world breaking apart resounded. Then, Xiangwu's blood burst out, and his entire arm exploded and flew dozens of meters away. Not only that, but even his internal organs were almost broken. Of course, the most terrifying thing was that with just this one punch, Xiangwu's cultivation and even his dantian were shattered. In other words, Xiangwu had completely become a useless person at this moment. The difference was immediately apparent, one-on-one level. Suddenly, the entire audience was so shocked that they fell into complete silence. This is Xiangwu, the young master of Barji sect. With one punch, he was instantly defeated by Ling Feng, and even became a cripple. If this were to get out, how many people in Jiangyang City would be shocked? Chapter 22. Han Yangran was furious. Xiangwu. Zhu Jiaojiao had never expected that Xiangwu would become a cripple with just this one punch. Suddenly, Zhu Jiaojiao hated Ling Feng to the core. Before he could avenge himself, Xiangwu was defeated by Ling Feng. This is simply the biggest shame ever. Oh. You country bumpkin with the surname Ling. I, Zhu Jiaojiao, swear. From today on, I will fight you to the death. Just wait. I, Zhu Jiaojiao, will use all my energy to make sure you die without a burial place. Zhu Jiaojiao was full of resentment and madness. Anyone who heard this voice felt a chill down their spine, because everyone could see that Zhu Jiaojiao would definitely take revenge. Even if Ling Feng had the upper hand today, Zhu Jiaojiao would definitely make Ling Feng pay an unimaginable price. Ling Feng's eyes flashed with murderous intent. He was not a murderer, but Zhu Jiaojiao had threatened him to such an extent that if he did not root her out, it would be a shame to his words, "Master, go down the mountain." But, just when Ling Feng was preparing to eliminate the trouble. Suddenly. Stop it, everyone. A very sharp, arrogant, overbearing and unquestionable voice sounded, and then a beautiful woman wearing a cheongsam, with long white legs and her hair piled high, walked out quickly. When everyone saw the person coming, they were immediately shocked. This is the secretary of the Comet Foundation CEO, Zhang Jingru. Zhu Jiaojiao looked at Zhang Jingru, who had an extraordinary aura, and immediately said with a face full of grievance and resentment, "Secretary Zhang, you came at the right time. This boy not only humiliated me, but also ruined my boyfriend. You must make the decision for me." However, Zhang Jingru took a deep look at Ling Feng, then at Zhu Jiaojiao, who was covered in blood, and said in a deep voice, "I think you are all really bold. You know that this is the Comet Consortium's bidding reception, and you still dare to cause trouble like this. I warn you, no matter your background or identity, if you fight here again, the Comet Consortium will have to ask you to get out. And put you on the blacklist." Zhang Jingru spoke the words, blacklist, very seriously. Zhu Jiaojiao was filled with hatred when she heard this. She could see that Zhang Jingru didn't want to stand for anyone. At the same time, if she offended the Comet Group at this critical juncture, she would definitely become the target of public criticism. Suddenly, he stared at Ling Feng intently, gritting his teeth and said, "You bastard, you're lucky. When the party is over, you can just wait for my violent revenge." Ling Feng shrugged casually and said calmly, "Then you'd better pray that the people you called can suppress me, Ling Feng. Otherwise, next time, it won't be as simple as slapping you a few times. Instead, I will turn you into a useless person like Xiangwu. You." Zhu Jiaojiao was furious, but because Zhang Jingru was present, she didn't dare to get too angry. She could only remember Ling Feng's appearance and wait for the opportunity to make Ling Feng fall into ruin. After Zhu Jiaojiao and Zhang Jingru left, Su Qingyar was filled with grief and said to Ling Feng anxiously, "Ling Feng, let's go quickly. Otherwise, after the cocktail party is over, we will definitely be in big trouble." Zhao Linfei and Su Dongshan looked at Ling Feng with hatred and said, "Besides causing trouble, what else can you do? Divorce. Qingyar, you must divorce this bastard." Ling Feng said calmly, "The cocktail party isn't over yet, why are you leaving so early? What if I help you get the bidding project later? You? Har 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 har." Zhao Linfei and Su Dongshan laughed, "You beast, You beat up the eldest daughter of the Jew family and caused chaos here. It's lucky that the CEO of Comet Financial Group didn't kill you. And you still dream of helping our Su family win the bid. Ling Feng said with a half smile, what if I get it? Zhao Linfei sneered and said, if you get it, I'll serve you tea and water. Okay, mother-in-law, this is what you said. I hope you won't break your promise when the time comes. Ling Feng sneered, but he was extremely confident in his heart, because, in the eyes of others, although he was just a bumpkin, he only needed to make a phone call, or use the identities of his several outstanding masters. He believed that the Comet Group would definitely give him face in minutes. 10 minutes later. The bidding for the cocktail reception has officially begun. When Ling Feng and others came to the second floor, they discovered that there was a different world here. Compared to the first floor, it is so much higher quality, and all the seats are gold-plated. This is enough to show that Comet Consortium attaches great importance to this bidding. After a while, as the bright lights shone, their host Zhang Jinru, holding the microphone, said solemnly and loudly, now, please welcome the CEO of our Comet Financial Group, Ms. Han Yangran. Swish! As the lights went on, everyone saw a beautiful woman with a perfect figure, a pair of proud breasts, and a perfect curve to the extreme. She walked out of the passage slowly. Oh my God, is this the CEO of the Comet Foundation? She's so beautiful and so elegant, isn't she? Su Qingya also looked up. When she saw the woman wearing a snow-white dress, with 3,000 strands of hair draped over her back and a long neck that was as attractive and classy as a winter rose, she couldn't help but be slightly distracted. It is said that this woman's beauty is not inferior to hers at all. When Ling Feng saw the woman, he was slightly surprised and stunned. Damn, isn't this the busty beauty I met on the street before? It's such a coincidence, I didn't expect to meet her here again. TSK, this but seems to be more upturned than before, it's really a top-notch one. After hearing Ling Feng's words, everyone around him immediately looked over, wanting to kill him. Han Yangran just appeared, and Ling Feng actually dared to talk nonsense here. Is he tired of dying? You bastard, could you please be quiet? If we even offend the CEO of Comet Group, our Su family will become the target of public criticism. Su Qingya rolled her eyes at Ling Feng and told him to shut up immediately to avoid getting killed. Han Yangran, who was on the stage, had a temperament like an iceberg. She glanced around casually and ordered someone to bring up a painting. Then, she said calmly, everyone, before the bidding meeting begins, I would like to invite you to appreciate a masterpiece. Everyone subconsciously looked up and saw two staff members unfolding the scroll. It was a Chinese painting titled, Heart of a Tiger Sniffing the Rose. Moreover, judging from the painting, the tiger is lifelike, and every detail is handled very well. Its posture is even more arrogant, and next to it stands a stunningly beautiful woman, gazing into the distance. Oh my God! It's Master Long Xian's painting of a tiger and a beautiful woman. I never thought that we would be able to see such a masterpiece in our lifetime. Ms. Han Yangran, CEO of the Comet Financial Group, is indeed very wealthy and has great means to gain access to Master Long Xian's handwritten paintings. There were voices of shock and amazement all around, but no one could express the true meaning and interpretation that Han Yangran wanted in her heart. Han Yangran couldn't help but feel a little disappointed. It seemed that there was no one at the scene who understood the map. However, at this moment, Ling Feng had a bored look on his face and spoke eloquently. What a bullshit, a tiger in the heart sniffing the rose. This is clearly a painting I made of a hungry tiger pouncing on a fairy. Is it necessary to flatter me like this? Ling Feng's voice was not loud, but it was extremely harsh. All of the celebrities in the audience stared at Ling Feng with deathly gazes. Is this guy crazy? How dare he slander Master Xuanlong's famous painting like this? And in front of Han Yangran? Han Yangran was also furious, and shouted in a bone-chilling voice, who are you, speaking nonsense here? If you can't give a clear answer today, don't blame me, Han Yangran, for turning my back on you. Chapter 23, This gigolo is so delicious that it makes my blood bleed. Facing Han Yangran's extremely domineering eyes, Ling Feng was not panicked at all. He slowly stood up, smiled and said, Beauty, we meet again. It's you, you filthy rascal. Han Yangran's pretty eyes suddenly frowned, and she became even more angry when she thought of Ling Feng teasing her before. Tell me, why do you want to slander Master Long Xian's famous paintings? Ling Feng said calmly, I am not slandering you, I am just stating the facts. Because I painted this picture, and I did it very carelessly at the time. To put it bluntly, it's just a piece of rubbish. How dare you? As soon as these words came out, Zhang Jingru, the secretary beside Han Yangran, suddenly had a cold look on her face. Zhu Jiaojiao didn't expect that Ling Feng, a bumpkin, would dare to offend Han Yangran under such circumstances. She immediately felt that God was helping the Zhu family. She stood up on the spot and said to Ling Feng with resentment, "President Han, this bumpkin is simply talking nonsense. Everyone knows that Master Long Xian's famous paintings have outstanding styles. How could they be created by this rubbish? Moreover, when we were outside just now, he insulted me and my Zhu family wantonly and even ruined my boyfriend. I hope that President Han can make the decision for our Zhu family and let this bumpkin pay the price he deserves." Huh. Han Yangran couldn't help but raise her eyebrows. She didn't expect that Ling Feng, this scoundrel, would be so bold that he slandered Master Long Xian at her bidding party. This was simply unforgivable. She stared at Ling Feng coldly and said, "You scoundrel, you are so bold. Don't say that I, Han Yangran, bullied a country bumpkin like you. Today, in front of everyone, if you can give me a satisfactory explanation or action, I, Han Yangran, will forgive all your reckless behavior. But you are just talking nonsense and doing nothing. Not only will you have to kneel down and apologize, but you and your friends will also be banned by my Comet Financial Group and be left with nowhere to go." "No problem." Ling Feng didn't care at all, and then changed the subject, "But if I give you a satisfactory explanation, you have to agree to be my wife, how about it?" "You?" After these words were spoken, many people in the audience almost vomited blood. This kid is too pushy. Not only did he speak nonsense, he even wanted Han Yangran to be his wife. This is crazy. You want to die. Having me as your wife is not enough for you. Su Qingyar pinched Ling Feng's shoulder fiercely. Ling Feng cried out in pain, but he smiled and said, "Wife, I was just kidding. I just wanted to rub this woman's arrogance." Han Yangran's face was full of disgust. She was too lazy to talk nonsense with Ling Feng, and she didn't believe that Ling Feng could satisfy her. "Okay, I promise you, but if you can't make me happy, I promise that you will regret it terribly. Pen and ink are ready." Ling Feng walked directly to the stage and said calmly. Han Yangran didn't care and signaled her secretary Zhang Jingru to get them. After getting the brush and ink, Ling Feng started to work. On a piece of rice paper, Ling Feng seemed to have found his interest. He drew a few strokes at random. Suddenly, everyone saw that on the rice paper, there were flying dragons and dancing phoenixes, and undulating mountains. It was as if the rice paper had become another world, with the setting sun like blood, and thousands of horses galloping across the world. It was magnificent. Han Yangran was fascinated by what she saw, and was shocked in her heart. This is exactly the same as what Master Long Xian did. Could it be? He is really Master Long Xian. As the #1 fan of Master Long Xian, Han Yangran collected dozens of Master Long Xian's famous paintings, so she was particularly familiar with Master Long Xian's painting skills. But this is not the most shocking thing. The most shocking thing is that at the end of the painting, Ling Feng drew a lifelike, graceful and charming beauty who looked like a fairy from heaven. But upon closer inspection, it is exactly the same as Han Yangran. It even makes people suspect that the Han Yangran standing on the stage is not a real person, but the Han Yangran in the painting is the real one. It can be called the Heaven Acts divine art. Shocked. Everyone was deeply shocked. Even Su Qingyar covered her mouth, her eyes full of strange waves. "Oh my god, Ling Feng's painting skills are so amazing." The rest of the celebrities, one by one, had their eyes burning and crazy. "This painting is a miracle. I'm willing to pay 100 million. 100 million. You are simply insulting this painting. I'll give you 300 million. Zhu Jiaojiao and the others felt as if they had been slapped in the face, and they were almost dying of frustration. Who would have thought that a painting by this country bumpkin could be sold for over 100 million yuan? At this time, an old, kind-hearted man said to Ling Feng excitedly, "Little brother, I am the president of the famous painting association of Jiangyang City. I am willing to pay 1 billion to buy this painting. At the same time, as long as you are willing, I can give you any identity in the famous painting association. You can choose it." Hiss. The whole audience gasped in shock. 1 billion. What kind of amount is that? It's enough to buy an office building where every inch of land is worth a lot of money. However, Ling Feng didn't care about the bids at all. Instead, he looked at Han Yangran, who had a dazed and shocked look on her face, and raised the corner of his mouth slightly. "Do you like it? If you like it, I'll give it to you." "Who are you?" Han Yangran stared at Ling Feng, unable to see through him at all. He was so young, yet had such superb painting skills. Although she had already guessed Ling Feng's possible identity, she still wanted Ling Feng's personal acknowledgement. Ling Feng smiled and replied seriously, "Who can I be? Since I have satisfied you, I am naturally your husband. Come with me first." Han Yangran suddenly pulled Ling Feng and walked towards the backstage. When they arrived at a room in the backstage, Han Yangran stared at Ling Feng and spoke word by word, "You are Master Long Xian, right? My father has been asking me to find you. He said that there is an extremely important matter that needs to be discussed with you." Huh? Ling Feng couldn't help but raise his eyebrows. "Does your father know me?" "I don't know him, but my father knows your master," Han Yangran explained, but at this moment, she suddenly felt a dull pain in her abdomen. She covered her stomach and squatted on the ground. Ling Feng saw something was wrong at a glance. "You are sick?" "Yes." Han Yangran's forehead was covered with cold sweat. The pain made her unable to speak. Ling Feng immediately looked helpless. "I told you a long time ago to let me insert a few times, but you didn't listen. Now you are suffering. Forget it, let me cure your illness with medicine." "What are you going to do?" Han Yangran bit her lip tightly, her face full of vigilance. "Treat her." Ling Feng picked up Han Yangran and put her on the bed. Then, he tore open her clothes, revealing her white breasts. Han Yangran trembled, feeling ashamed and angry. "You bastard, you." She thought that Ling Feng was going to do something bad to her, but Ling Feng was serious. He took out 3 silver needles and stabbed them into Han Yangran's chest. Hum. Suddenly, Han Yangran's heart was shaken. She felt an extremely comfortable air flow into her body. She couldn't help but let out a very suggestive sound. Hiss. When the people in the second-floor hall heard the sound, they all looked at each other in shock. Damn. Could it be that President Han really took a fancy to this boy and he was doing something between a man and a woman in there? What about you? There are so many of us here. You don't care at all. This is too exciting, isn't it? This gigolo is so enviable that my heart is bleeding. Su Qingya, on the other hand, felt as if struck by lightning. This voice, why does it sound so much like that? Damn, that bastard Ling Feng, could he be doing that kind of thing with Han Yanran? For a moment, Su Qingya felt that she was filled with jealousy. If Ling Feng obeyed Han Yangran, then wouldn't Han Yangran be able to steal this bastard Ling Feng away with her? Chapter 24. The Chu family, a family of mercenaries, came knocking. Inside the room, Ling Feng looked at Han Yangran, whose face was blushing, and smiled slightly. "How is it? Are you comfortable?" Han Yangran bit her lip tightly, but spoke from the bottom of her heart. "Well, comfortable." Her heart was full of disbelief. After Ling Feng gave her only 3 injections, not only did the cramps she had previously experienced completely disappear, she even felt as if she was floating in the clouds, feeling extremely comfortable. And, at this moment, suddenly, bang! The entire room on the second floor was suddenly and violently kicked open. Then, a very angry young man with murderous intent rushed in with more than 100 people. As soon as he came in, he roared with ferocious eyes, "Who? Which damned bastard who touched my Gua Zhilin's woman?" "What? Gua Zhilin?" When they saw the person coming, everyone in the audience trembled in fear. You know, Gua Zhilin is the #1 young master in Lingnan. The most important thing is that the Gua family is one of the 3 major royal families in Lingnan. The power is overwhelming. For a moment, everyone thought that Ling Feng was definitely dead. Seeing that the whole place was silent, Gua Zhilin's expression became extremely gloomy, and he shouted cruelly, "You bastard who dares to do it but not to take the responsibility, get out of here. If you don't come out, I, Gua Zhilin, guarantee that your entire family will be wiped out." "Who's barking?" At this time, Ling Feng walked out quickly with Han Yangran, looking at Gua Zhilin without any fear, just a little annoyed. When Gua Zhilin saw Ling Feng and Han Yangran, he was immediately furious and shouted in anger, "Boy, you and my fiancé were causing trouble in there just now." Ling Feng raised his eyebrows, pointed at Han Yangran and said, "Are you talking about her? So she is your fiancé? It tastes pretty good." "What? You haven't tasted it yet? You're looking for death?" Hearing Ling Feng's extremely provocative and humiliating words, Gua Zhilin was furious. "Bastard, do you know how miserable your death will be if you dare to touch my fiancé? Go ahead, I want him to die without a burial place." Swish! Following Gua Zhilin's order, dozens of middle-aged men rushed out. Moreover, the wind was extremely fierce and the killing was extremely terrifying. It was obvious at first glance that he was at least at the level of an innate warrior. Zhu Jiaojiao and the others were immediately filled with gloating. Originally, they thought that Ling Feng would hook up with Han Yangran, and revenge might be hopeless, but they didn't expect that Han Yangran was actually Guo Jilin's fiancé. Guo Jilin is a young master of the royal family. His background and identity are so many times more terrifying than the Zhu family. Moreover, these middle-aged men who attacked were obviously Guo Jilin's personal masters. If they got close to Ling Feng would definitely die without a burial place. Han Yangran knew the Guo family's background best. When she saw several middle-aged men rushing towards her like killing gods, her pretty eyes were filled with fear. Be careful, Ling Feng. These few losers want to hurt me, they should go back and be retrained. Ling Feng was not panicked at all, his expression was extremely calm, and then, in full view of everyone, he stepped out and kicked out. Bang! Suddenly, a kick broke the stone, and just as it made contact, there was a crack. Several middle-aged men's legs were broken at once, as if a mountain was crushing them, and blood splattered. It was extremely horrible to watch. What? Their whole audience was suddenly shocked. They could never have imagined that Ling Feng's fighting power was so incredible. Damn it! Guo Jilin's expression was extremely ugly when he saw this scene, and he looked like water was dripping out of it. He gritted his teeth and yelled, "You bastard, you have guts. I, Guo Jilin, will remember you. As long as you dare to stay in Jiangyang City for one more day, I promise." Bang! But before he could finish his words, Ling Feng stepped forward and slapped him hard. "Threaten me." Bang! "Do you think you are so awesome?" Bang! "Let me tell you, your fiancé and I didn't do anything. Instead, I helped your fiancé cure her illness." Bang! "Not only did you not thank me, but you also threatened me, Ling Feng. Who do you think you are?" With one slap after another, Guo Jilin was beaten so hard that his mouth was full of blood and he fainted on the spot. Hiss! Such a scene made everyone in the audience almost faint from fright. You are really going against the will of heaven. Not only did he offend the Zhu family and slept with Han Yangran, but now he even beat Guo Jilin until his mouth was full of blood. They couldn't imagine how badly Ling Feng would be chopped into pieces once the Guo family got angry. You? Han Yangran didn't expect Ling Feng to be so violent and reckless. Do you know who he is? I don't care who he is. If he dares to threaten me, I will beat his mouth to pieces. Ling Feng didn't care at all. He was just a royal family. When Ling Feng was in Yinlong Island, the people who gave him massages every day were all world-class tycoons. Guo Jilin was not even worthy of carrying his shoes. Looking at Ling Feng, who was very domineering, Han Yangran couldn't help but be a little dazed. She had never thought that a man could be so arrogant and unscrupulous. But thinking of Guo Jilin's background, he was still worried. You are in big trouble. The power of Guo Jilin's family is beyond your imagination. Moreover, behind the Guo family stands the Dragon and Tiger Hall. If the Dragon and Tiger Hall intervenes, you will have no place to stand in Jiangyang City. You should think about how to escape quickly. Run away. That's something only the weak would do. Let me put it this way. I, Ling Feng, will be waiting for Guo Jilin to call for revenge at any time. Ling Feng's face was as indifferent as before, as if he didn't take Guo Jilin seriously at all. Just like that, a bidding reception ended in great success. Before the end, Han Yangran handed the project over to the Su family. Zhao Linfei and Su Dongshan were both happy and scared. The good news is that we have climbed up the big tree of Comet Consortium. But what is scary is that Guo Jilin, after suffering such a great humiliation, will never let it go. The best way is to drive Ling Feng out of the Su family. In this way, not only the project will be saved, but the crisis of the Su family will also be resolved. But before Zhao Linfei and Su Dongshan went to discuss the matter with old Master Su Qingya, who loved and hated Ling Feng, was ready to teach him a lesson when suddenly, there was a loud bang and the entire Su family villa began to shake. Soon after, a large number of people dressed in mercenary uniforms came from all directions, like an army of thousands, and surrounded the Su family villa. The middle-aged man in the lead had a violent look in his eyes, wanting to kill people. He was extremely cold, like a dark cloud pressing down on the city, and he roared, "Everyone in the Su family, listen carefully. I, the head of the mercenary Chu family, Chu Zhongqian, have come to avenge my daughter's broken leg. Anyone who wants to keep his body intact, get out, kneel down and commit suicide. Otherwise, today, the entire Su family will die without a burial place. Chapter 25. That's all. What? The head of the mercenary family, Chu Zhongqian. Hearing this well-known name and Chu Zhongqian's murderous voice, Zhao Linfei and Su Dongshan almost fainted on the spot. You know, this guy once led hundreds of mercenaries to massacre the entire Jiangbei area. So much so that, up to now, it is still a nightmare widely spread in Jiangbei. Mr. Su's expression was also extremely ugly. Damn it, how could our Su family provoke such an evil god for no reason? Su Qingya bit her lip, knowing that there was no point in hiding anything at this moment, so she told the whole story. Grandpa, this is what happened. Ling Feng and I went to a men's and women's clothing store and met a woman named Chu Mailing. As soon as these words came out, Su Dongshan was immediately furious. Ling Feng, you bastard, why did you bother to provoke a woman with such a background? This will bring disaster to our Su family. Su Qingya said with a wronged look on her face. Dad, Ling Feng did it for me. No matter what the reason is, he should have asked the other party's identity before taking action. Su Dongshan was extremely angry. Zhao Linfei wiped her tears and said, this Wang Badan is a disaster. Old man, I have said long ago that he should not be kept in the Su family. This bastard has been causing trouble all the time. First he provoked the Zhu family, then beat Guo Jilin, and now he has offended Chu Zhongqian. Our Su family is going to be killed by him. Old Master Su also sighed. Xiao Feng, this time, you are still too impulsive. Ling Feng, however, looked calm and said fearlessly, don't worry, old man. Everyone has their own responsibilities. It's just Chu Zhongqian. I guarantee that he can never touch the Su family. Just a Chu Zhongqian. Zhao Linfei was furious and said, do you know who Chu Zhongqian is? He once led 300 mercenaries to wipe out dozens of wealthy families in Jiangbei. What the hell can you use to protect our Su family? Bang! At the same time, the door of the Su family villa was violently kicked open. Then, 1, 10, 100, 300, or even thousands of mercenaries, armed with sharp blades and full of murderous intent, rushed in quickly. Beside the leader Chu Zhongqian, there followed a woman with a plaster cast on her face, who looked cold, sinister and resentful. She was Chu Mailing. As soon as Chu Mailing saw Ling Feng, she gnashed her teeth and smiled coldly like a venomous snake. Little white face. Aren't you very arrogant? Don't you dare to kick one of my legs off. Now, I've brought my father to deal with you. I'm going to see how you die today. Zhao Linfei was so frightened that her scalp went numb and her body couldn't stop shaking. She quickly stepped forward to apologize. Miss Chu, I'm sorry. All of this was caused by that bastard Ling Feng. If you want to settle the score, go find him. Par. However, Chu Zhongqian raised his hand and slapped her, and said in an extremely cold voice, damn cousin, this damn little bastard, hurt my daughter so badly, and you Su family still want to get rid of it. Dream on. All of you must die. You must be buried with her. The word buried with him was said with extreme seriousness and coldness. Zhao Linfei was so scared that she trembled all over. Master Chu, this is really none of our business. Divorce. Our Su family will let my daughter divorce this guy immediately. You can kill her or cut her into pieces, it's up to you. Can I get a word in? I, Ling Feng, hate this woman, too. But she is my mother-in-law after all. If you touch her, you are provoking my Ling Feng's reverse scale. So, I, Ling Feng, am very unhappy, really. You have 3 seconds to kneel down and apologize to her. Then I can consider leaving your daughter and your body intact. A sudden, calm, playful, yet bloodthirsty voice rang out. Everyone looked up and saw that the person who spoke was Ling Feng. Suddenly, everyone in the audience was stunned. In this situation, Ling Feng actually dared to jump out and even threaten Chu Zhongqian. It's simply courting death. Chu Zhongqian stared at Ling Feng, also extremely shocked. For so many years, no one dared to talk to him like this. Today, I actually met him for the first time, and he was a guy who was only in his 20s. Suddenly, Chu Zhongqian licked his tongue, and the blood in his body inexplicably boiled up. Then, he looked at Zhao Linfei and smiled like a devil. Do you need me to kneel down and apologize to you? Zhao Linfei felt as if she had fallen into an icy cave. She was terrified. She was really terrified because Chu Zhongqian's voice sounded like something from hell. No. I don't need your apology, Patriarch Chu. It's all because of that brat Ling Feng. He acted on his own and was so arrogant. Or if you want to kill someone, kill him. You bastard. I'm really, really curious. Who gave you such incredible confidence and courage? How dare you talk to my father like that? Chu Mailing was so angry that she was going crazy. Chu Zhongqian brought over 1,000 Chu family mercenaries with him, but Ling Feng was not afraid at all. He even dared to talk back to his father like that. Ling Feng's eyes turned cold, and he said calmly, "When you talk to me, you'd better be polite, because once I get angry, the consequences will be serious." Har har har. Chu Mailing was so angry that she laughed. She walked forward and poked Ling Feng in the chest, full of arrogance, provocation, and scolding. "Little bastard. Little trash. Bumpkin. Are the consequences of your anger serious? Okay. I really want to see. My father is here, so many mercenaries are here. What the hell are you doing? Are you angry with me? Come on. Do you think you can break my legs like you did last time? Go ahead. I'm really looking forward to it. How fearless are you?" Seeing that Chu Mailing was very close to Ling Feng, the other mercenaries subconsciously became alert and wanted to go over to protect Chu Mailing. Chu Zhongqian stopped him and looked at Ling Feng with great disdain. Ling Feng was indeed very courageous, but he didn't believe that Ling Feng really dared to touch his daughter in front of him. "As you wish." However, Ling Feng just smiled casually, his smile full of playfulness. Then, unexpected, extremely abrupt. Boom! In a flash, Ling Feng suddenly grabbed Chu Mailing's hair, and then, in full view of everyone, slammed her hard onto the floor. Once, and again. Bang, 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 the extremely harsh and shocking collision sound rang out, and blood gushed out quickly along Chu Mailing's head as if it was free. The whole place was eerily silent, while Ling Feng wiped his hands with a look of disgust and said faintly, "Do you know why I still dare to attack you? Because, in front of me, your father is, at best, just an ant that is more ferocious than you, that's all." Chapter 26. One man challenges thousands of mercenaries. Overbearing. Arrogant. Arrogant. Showing the most exquisiteness. Everyone is incredible to the extreme. I can't believe it even if I'm beaten to death. Ling Feng actually attacked Chu Mailing again. And this time, he was even more ruthless and brutal. It's estimated that just a few hits almost made Chu Mailing's brains pop out. "You're looking for death." Chu Zhongqian's eyes were red with anger. He had never expected that Ling Feng would be so bold as to murder his daughter right in front of him. At this moment, he really wanted to cut Ling Feng into pieces. Everyone in the Su family was so frightened that they almost fainted and became numb. They shouted to Ling Feng in fear. "Ling Feng, do you really want the entire Su family to be wiped out? Hurry up and let Miss Chu go." "Oh. Ling Feng, you bastard, if you kill our Su family, we won't let you go even if we become ghosts." Su Qingya's eyes were filled with horror, and she cried out with tears in her eyes, "Ling Feng, I beg you, please don't be impulsive anymore, okay? Otherwise, there is really no room for redemption. Wang Badan, kneel down immediately and commit suicide. Right. Otherwise, we guarantee that the Su family will be flooded with blood." Thousands of Chu family mercenaries were also extremely angry and murderous. They came with murderous intent. Ling Feng actually dared to be so arrogant. He deserved to die. However, Ling Feng seemed to have not heard any threat at all. He then stepped hard on Chu Mailing's bloody face, "But the problem is, I touched her again, what can you do to me? You bastard! I want your entire family to be wiped out." Chu Zhongqian was furious like a volcano erupting, his eyes were bloodshot, and his voice was extremely hoarse. "Little bastard, let my daughter go, maybe there will be room for maneuver. Otherwise, today, you will be buried in the underworld, and there will be no chance of survival." Chu Mailing, who was covered in blood and filled with humiliation, yelled like a madman, "Oh! Father, leave me alone. Kill him. Kill him. I just want him to die. Hurry up and do it." Chu Zhongqian's expression was extremely gloomy. He really wanted to kill Ling Feng, but now, Chu Mailing was right under Ling Feng's feet. He was really afraid that Ling Feng would kick Chu Mailing and she would die on the spot. Therefore, he stared at Ling Feng and said with gritted teeth, "Little bastard, if you are still a man, you should not be afraid to act rashly. If you have the guts, fight against me, Chu Zhongqian, squarely and honestly. Do you think I'm using your daughter's life to control you?" Ling Feng smiled bloodthirstily, and then kicked Chu Mailing dozens of meters away. He clapped his hands and even hooked his finger at Chu Zhongqian. Old man, don't say I didn't give you a chance. 3 minutes, no, 5 minutes. Within 5 minutes, if any of your people, including you, can hurt me, I will spare your daughter's life. But if you don't even touch the corner of my Ling Feng's coat within 5 minutes, then congratulations, you and your daughter will be reunited in hell. Mad. The madness that defies the heavens. You little bastard. You deserve to die. Chu Zhongqian almost gritted his teeth. Hatred, anger, and murderous intent, all completely materialized. Just now, Ling Feng was afraid to act rashly, so he might have some reservations, but at this moment, Ling Feng no longer had Chu Mailing as his trump card, so he had at least 100 ways to kill Ling Feng. Ling Feng was not afraid at all, and smiled playfully. Har har. I really deserve to die, but the problem is that the king of hell won't take me, and trash like you don't even have the qualifications to get close to me, right? Every word deeply irritated Chu Zhongqian's reverse scale. Kill him. Let's do it together. Everyone, attack. Chu Zhongqian was trembling all over, and his killing intent towards Ling Feng had reached its peak. The words fell. Suddenly. Swish swish swish. Squeak squeak squeak. Thousands of Chu family mercenaries, holding sharp blades and suppressing their emotions to the extreme, all took action. The attack was overwhelming and invincible, and the speed was astonishing. As it was clenched, it felt like one cold knife after another, blocking the bones. Moreover, their weapons include hooks, long knives, sharp swords, and bloody guns. The variety alone is enough to scare people to death. Zhao Linfei and Su Dongshan were so frightened that their hearts almost choked. This little bastard is dead. Ling Feng Su Qingya was also frightened to the point of her scalp going numb. At this time, Lin Ruoxue and Han Yuna, who heard the noise, rushed over and saw the scene before them. They were also terrified. They were all ordinary people, and had never seen such a brutal siege scene. Both women forced themselves to suppress their fear and told themselves in their hearts that Ling Feng would be fine. However, he couldn't deceive his own eyes at all. Under such circumstances, Ling Feng's chance of survival was almost zero. Wu you bastard, you must survive. Lin Ruoxue's eyes were suddenly filled with tears and she was extremely anxious. At the same time, Ling Feng was surrounded by more than 1,000 Chu family mercenaries, and the smell of blood was extremely strong. However, Ling Feng was not afraid at all. Instead, he licked his tongue with a bloodthirsty look. This was the first time since he came down the mountain that he encountered so many people trying to kill him. Moreover, these people are all first-rate criminals, but this is exactly what Ling Feng wants. It has been so long since he last killed anyone that Ling Feng almost forgot that he once had the title of Prince of Darkness in the world outside the domain. Die. Thousands of Chu family mercenaries, with bright and bloody eyes, killed to the extreme, wielded their weapons crazily, directly at Ling Feng's throat, neck, and vitals, not giving Ling Feng any room or chance to survive. However, Ling Feng had no intention of dodging, instead he rushed forward with his entire body, violently clenching his fists. Crack! Crack! Suddenly, extremely piercing and shocking breaking sounds rang out one after another. Under the extremely unbelievable eyes of everyone, the hook, the long knife, the blood spear, and the sharp sword actually broke one after another. At the same time, the sound of blood spurting out was also heard. What was extremely shocking was that it was not Ling Feng's blood. Instead, it was clearly visible that the blood of the thousands of Chu family mercenaries had been clenched, and then their necks were broken. Ling Feng was like the god of death, ruthlessly, horribly, and coldly harvesting lives without any room for resistance. Chapter 27. So what if Chu is crazy? I'll wait for him to die. How is this possible? Suddenly, Su Qingya was stunned, Lin Ruoxue was stunned, Han Yuna was stunned, Zhao Linfei was stunned, Su Dongshan was stunned, Chu Zhongqian was stunned, and Chu Mailing was stunned. You know, these thousands of Chu family mercenaries are not just random people. But why, when thousands of Chu family mercenaries surrounded and killed Ling Feng was as easy as cutting cabbages, and why, every time he attacked, at least hundreds of people died on the spot? This is too strong. Lin Ruoxue and Han Yuna's eyes were immediately filled with admiration. Even Su Qingya's heart was pounding. My cheap husband's fighting ability is so terrifying. How strong must his martial arts talent be? Chu Zhongqian and Chu Mailing's expressions were extremely ugly, as gloomy as water, because Ling Feng was really too fast. In just a blink of an eye, he harvested the lives of at least 400 or 500 people. Moreover, this number is still growing. It's really frightening. The most unbelievable thing is that after 2 rounds of attacks, the only 300 people who were still alive retreated directly. Yes, they were obviously scared and obviously terrified of Ling Feng's brutality. Damn trash. All trash. Chu Zhongqian cursed, his face full of rage. He had spent a lot of manpower and financial resources to train these thousands of Chu family mercenaries, but he didn't expect that they could even last a round against Ling Feng. It's a shame among shames. If Ling Feng hadn't died today, the Chu family would basically have no face to stay in Jiangyang City. Madman. Su Dongshan was also breathing heavily, having thoroughly witnessed Ling Feng's cruelty. He could never have imagined in his dreams that this country bumpkin could kill people as easily as drinking water or eating. If Ling Feng continued to stay in the Su family, he would probably lose his life sooner or later. Ling Feng killed 400 or 500 people without any signs of exhaustion or injury. Instead, he raised his eyebrows at Chu Zhongqian, who was not far away, and sneered, "The so-called Chu family mercenaries are just this weak. They are really rubbish. Damn it." Ling Feng's words completely infuriated Chu Zhongqian. Even in the provincial capital, Suzhou and Hangzhou, no one dared to provoke him like this. He decided that he must beat Ling Feng to a cripple and then pull out his tendons and bones to vent his hatred. "Little bastard, do you think you can be invincible just because you can kill hundreds of Chu family mercenaries in an instant? I have been in charge of the Chu family for so many years, and no one has ever been defeated by me. You will be no exception. Die for me." Chu Zhongqian's murderous intent soared to the sky, and then he suddenly crossed over, and the floor tiles exploded into clouds. He was like a giant descending to the earth, but he moved very fast, and his dangerous aura was like a nuclear bomb about to explode. Released with a bang. Heaven-suppressing fist. The next moment, a sudden roar came from his throat, hot and scorching, carrying a million murderous intentions. Everyone's ears were collectively deafened at this moment, and they felt that their hearts were about to explode. "Get out of the way." Su Qingya, Lin Ruoxue, and Han Yuner were all extremely shocked. They subconsciously felt that Chu Zhongqian's punch could even shatter a solid wall, and Ling Feng would definitely not be able to take it. However, Ling Feng seemed like he didn't hear anything at all. He just walked straight forward, and at the same time, he stretched out his hand slightly and grabbed it. Looking for death. All of a sudden, everyone's eyes jumped wildly, thinking that Ling Feng was dead. The killing intent in Chu Zhongqian's eyes was bright and cruel, reaching its peak. "Boy, you will soon see yourself torn to pieces. Your internal organs will collapse. Like a dying ant. Kneeling on the ground, shaking your tail and begging for mercy." But just as he finished speaking, Chu Zhongqian's body trembled violently. Because he felt danger from Ling Feng's palm, extreme danger. And this idea just came to me. Ka. His fist was grabbed by Ling Feng, right. There was no resistance at all, no surprises, and at the same time, an indescribable terrifying force was squeezed out. "R." Chu Zhongqian let out an unprecedented scream, his face twisted to the extreme, and then his entire arm exploded, blood splattered. At the same time, their whole person flew out violently. Blood was everywhere. A deafening sound rang out, and Chu Zhongqian suddenly fell on the granite. Then, he suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood, with an extremely horrified expression. Actually. Before he could even finish his last sentence, his eyes widened. Die. That's right. With just this shock, Chu Zhongqian died, seriously injured to death. Father. When Chu Mailing saw this scene, her mentality completely collapsed, while the others seemed to be dreaming. Dead? Chu Zhongqian just died like this. How could it be? Chu Zhongqian, he is the only patriarch of a mercenary family in Jiangyang City. Xing Yiren, who had mastered the horizontal training, still couldn't even take a palm strike from Ling Feng. Could it be that Ling Feng's strength has reached the point where he can kill Chu Zhongqian in 1 second? I originally thought that you could fight with me for 2 rounds. Now it seems that I really overestimated you. Ling Feng stood in place, without any pride or pity, but disappointment. It seemed that he was very dissatisfied with Chu Zhongqian's strength. However, no one at the scene felt that Ling Feng was pretending. Ling Feng looked at the remaining 300 Chu family mercenaries and said calmly, "Abolish your own cultivation and kneel down to apologize, and I will spare your lives." Very cruel. Very domineering. The 300 Chu family mercenaries were filled with hatred, but they did not dare to look Ling Feng in the face, because even Chu Zhongqian was no match for Ling Feng. If they rushed over to seek revenge, it would be tantamount to committing suicide. Ah! Ling Feng, I will never forgive you. I want you to die without a burial place. Chu Mailing, like a madman, roared at Ling Feng with ferocious eyes. She could never have imagined that coming with such a terrifying lineup to seek revenge would end up with her father's tragic death and a shameful outcome. Bang! However, Ling Feng raised his hand and slapped Chu Mailing on the face. He looked down at her and said calmly, "Then I am really curious. How can you, a stray dog like you, let Ling Feng die without a burial place?" Har har har. Chu Mailing laughed grimly with blood all over her face. "Damn bastard, do you think that after killing my father, you can do whatever you want? Do you know who my brother is? It's Crazy Chu from the provincial capital. As soon as my brother arrives, you must die, and everyone must die." What? Crazy Chu from the provincial capital? Hearing these well-known words, Su Qingya and others almost suffocated. The name of Chu Crazy in the provincial capital was known to everyone, because Chu Crazy was not only the last disciple of the leader of the Shenmen sect in the provincial capital, but he had also challenged dozens of first-class martial arts halls in the provincial capital alone, hunted thousands of giant pythons alone, went deep into the Amazon for 7 days and 7 nights alone, killed the fully armed top-armed group of the Blood Triangle alone, and killed dozens of top martial artists from Zhongzhou alone. The legend and horrific deeds of Crazy Chu could not be told in a day and a night. But who would have thought that such a terrifying and shocking existence would be Chu Mailing's biological brother? Ling Feng looked at the changes in the expressions of Su Qingya and the others and smiled faintly. Har har, is this Crazy Chu very powerful? More than amazing. Su Qingya's pretty face was pale, her expression was extremely solemn, and she even spoke incoherently. "Crazy Chu, you have always been known as the best of the younger generation in the provincial capital. At the same time, you are murderer by nature. You started killing at the age of 15, and no one has surpassed you so far. You filthy rascal, now you have completely exposed the truth. I'm afraid that all of us in the Su family will die with you today." Not bad. However, after hearing this, Ling Feng remained calm as hell. He smiled faintly and said, "Since he is so famous, I, Ling Feng, will be here, waiting for him to kill and slaughter. As for you?" Ling Feng looked at Chu Mailing, whose mouth was full of blood and who was extremely resentful, and kicked her hard. The old wounds plus the new ones were bleeding profusely. Chu Mailing was in so much pain that she felt she was living a life worse than death. Ling Feng's eyes were like clouds, and he said calmly, "From this moment on, kneel down obediently until your awesome brother comes to save you. At the same time, pray that your awesome brother can take my punch. If not, well, as you wish, today, your whole family will most likely die."